Kevin likes Lumberjanes and Steven just likes to bro Jimmy Olsen. And you're in luck, because they're ahead.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. As you can see, I have a fabulous lobster hybrid here. Elan, welcome, buddy.
Yeah, I've accidentally dressed up as Han Solo. By accident.
Oh, you actually are. Yeah, nicely done. And Solo Lobster. And you have a neon sign in back. You now have your own insignia.
Yeah, it's quite nice, actually. I end up looking at it too long, and then I have square eyes, and then I can't see anything.
I can see. Yeah, it's very bright red. And I wanted to show everybody the shirt I got for my birthday.
Oh, Crypto. Yeah. Best dog.
Awesome. Yeah. He does have stuff above. Now, what are the books that you have above you? I'm sorry, your shelf.
Joe Pulka. Spectrograph by James Tinian. And then I've got a Chancellor, Old Man Popeye.
Oh, yeah.
Josh Kratos' Ballad of the Tiger.
So
you've got back there. That's pretty much my whole books. It's just like I've got two little Billy bookcases, and that's my entire collection of books, really. I've got another one in another room. That's all the books I own, really. I don't. So I've got space to grow over there. So
nice. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm kind of jealous that you have space to grow. That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to give me loads of recommendations now, don't you?
About books?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll fill those shelves up in a minute. Yeah.
Okay.
You bet.
Yeah.
Dana asking the important question: can a crypto plushie be far behind? He will take the place of these two as soon as he comes out. I am in love with this crypto. He is so adorable. Saved Superman's life in the trailer. Yeah, he'll go right here. Cage, thank you. Where's your cake? Well, yesterday I had a Hobbit birthday, apparently, where I gave out presents to people, which I was informed on Very Fine Conditions channel. It's called
Shall we bake a cake live?
I had so many donuts yesterday. I'm trying to stay away from sweets. There's no way to escape it, though.
I actually do have a question about donuts.
About donuts?
Yeah, I'm going to a Tim Hortons soon.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, and I've never been to one before. So I'm just wondering what's worth having at Tim Hortons.
You know, that's actually a Canadian. I believe Tim Hortons is a Canadian donut and coffee shop, but I know they have them in the upper Midwest of the U.S. I would start out with whatever as far as donuts go, whatever looks good to you. I like custard filled donuts, but I like a plain glazed is always a good way to tell if a donut shop knows what it's doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very vanilla, so it's okay. It's just like I like basic and plain, and just a good cup of tea with it. I don't know, probably offer tea there. Hopefully.
Oh, I don't know if Tim Hortons have tea.
They have to do here, Jess. They have to. I
mean, it's Tim Hortons in Wales.
Yeah, well, you can't not sell tea.
Oh, I thought you were talking about someplace else where, like Canada or the U.S.
Oh, no, I don't have money to buy a plane ticket at the moment. I wish I did.
Yeah. Okay, tea. Yeah, tea. And I would think that, a plain cake donut, I bet, would go well with tea.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Actually, that sounds really good to me right now.
Yeah. I might drive there now, actually. You're tempting me.
Pittyma, welcome. All hail lobster. Thank you, Pittyma. Thank you for being with me all day yesterday, too. La Raza, sorry. Happy birthday and lovely shirt. Thank you. Great to see you. You've got so much lobster stuff. That's crazy.
I've actually got something else lobster I want to show. Actually, these are hilarious. Wait, give me a minute.
Okay. Thank you, Munin. Good to see you. Immortal Ibsy, thank you. Okay, what is Han Solo Lobster going to be showing us?
Right, you ready?
Probably not.
Oh, okay. Lobster slippers.
You are leaning into this. I love it.
Yeah. Well, the problem is I didn't buy any of this stuff. My friends just keep buying me lobster-based presents.
Did you get that neon sign behind you too?
Yes, they did. Yeah, and then I've also got a hat as well. You know.
Oh. I love your friends. Now that hat is great.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if I could wear it in public. I'm a little nervous about wearing it in public. I mean, you know.
Well,
I think I could rock it. Yeah.
I mean, just going. It fits and frames your face nicely.
Yeah, just going down there in my slippers, picking up some milk in the early morning.
Javi's here. Thank you for being here. Here's Harvey, who was on the show yesterday, walking his dog in the cemetery in Cleveland, which was cool. 3 root beers, nice. Let's see. Oh, Bunk is here. What up, Bunk?
Hey, Bunk.
Elan is the rock lobster.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. I better not sing all of it.
There's dragons here. Yeah. Nice.
What would you wish?
Immortal, where are you from, Elan? Love your accent.
Let me check a map. I don't know if I can find this on the map. It's a really small place. No, it's Wales. Yeah. I think Anthony Hopkins, you know? If you think Anthony Hopkins, you know this guy. Yeah, that guy.
Was he from Wales?
Yeah.
Is he from Wales?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Who else can I think of was from Wales? That's about it, really. Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Who?
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Catherine Zeta-Jones. Oh.
Yeah, she's Welsh as well, yeah.
She is.
The guy who played in the first Fantastic Four films with the not so very great ones back in the early 2000s.
Oh, the one with Jessica Alba as Sue Storm?
Yeah, who was the
Ian?
Yeah, Ian Griffith, I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the gosh, what's his name? Character's name? I can't remember the character's name though.
Thank you, Prime. Good to see you. Yeah, lobster-based presents. I know this. You may need to explain to Larasa why you. It's probably good to go over it every time you're on because you keep getting more and more lobster-based presents.
Yeah, I'll be fully kitted out soon. You know, I'll be like a mascot.
I think you're gonna have a full lobster suit by the time we get on the air next. How?
Yeah, it's just. Oh gosh, I must have been between 16 and 18, and I came back home a little tipsy. You know, I wasn't meant to be going out in pubs at that age, but you know, you do. And then I came back, and then my siblings were playing a video game downstairs in the living room, and me and my friends were all there. And then my friends just turned to me because there's a thing on, I think, the Friends TV show where like "You're my lobster" or something. And then they all just ended up group hugging me. And then my sister, one of my siblings, commented, "No, he's a lobster hybrid," and it's stuck ever since. They changed all my accounts while I was sleeping, passed out on the couch. They changed all my accounts to lobster hybrid that night, and it's stuck ever since, basically. There you go.
Oh, Lars is saying Richard Burton was from Wales. That's a big one. Do you know who Richard Burton is?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, of course. Okay. I know. Yeah, Michael Sheen as well. And Anthony Hopkins. They're all from the same town. They're all from Port Talbot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I love Mark Antony. He was Mark Antony, wasn't he, in Cleopatra?
Richard Burton.
Yeah.
Yeah, the spy who came in from the cold.
Yeah. He
Who's Afraid
deserved.
of Virginia Woolf? Ooh, that was a rough
Oh,
movie with his wife Elizabeth Taylor.
yeah, who he remarried like 3 times.
Yeah, gave her a diamond like with a rock that was this big.
Yeah.
And tons and tons of theater. He was, I think,
Yeah.
originally a theater
Yeah.
actor.
Dylan
But I
Thomas.
remember when I was younger, gosh, I was still living at home, so I must have been in my early 20s. And they always said Richard Burton had a voice so rich and full that he could make reading okay, this is back when phone books were a thing. Phone books were a big thing that you would get with everybody's phone number in it, including businesses. And they said his voice was so good, he would make reading a phone book interesting. And I don't know how they got him to do it. It was on the Today Show here in the morning. Because by that time, he was, and he may have been this way his whole life, but he was very prickly. I don't think he had a sense of humor about it, but they actually got him to read from the phone book, just reading people's names and numbers, and it was fascinating. He leaned into it. He really made it dramatic. And
he did a lot of radio plays, I think. He did a lot of radio plays.
Yeah, growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was used to reading out and reciting lines and stuff from books. And
but that's such a frivolous thing, and he was such a famous person and such a prickly personality that I was shocked to get him to do it. But he leaned into it and did a really good job. I'd love to know if that's on YouTube. I would definitely watch that again.
Yeah.
Oh, Tom Jones.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to shake my legs like him.
Imagine not mentioning the most famous and impressive.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, he's a cyclist, won Tour de France.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And I got to ride with him.
I'm learning my. Dylan Thomas. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Who is this person?
He's from Aberystwyth. He was in Kingsman.
Oh, okay. I still need to see that.
He did the. Who did Yellow Brick Road? The song.
Elton John.
Elton John documentary. He was the main. He acted as Elton John in the documentary and stuff. Yeah, and he did Tetris. Tetris.
He did what?
Tetris, the film about the coming up with the video game Tetris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, The Prisoner. That was great with Patrick.
Yes,
McGowan.
I actually don't live very far from there, and I live very close to there. So yeah, I always have to watch my back when I'm walking along the beach, in case there's a big ball coming after me. A white ball.
That big ball used to scare the heck out of me. I'm old enough that it was on when I was little.
Yeah,
that big ball coming out of the ocean that scared me as a kid.
Yeah. I've been to many weddings and events in that little village. Yeah, it's a lovely place. Yeah, I'm actually named after there, but it's really beautiful. I've ever been. You can actually buy the pinstripe suits of the TV show there as well.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I never actually know when you're kidding and when you're serious.
No, I'm serious. You can actually buy the pinstripe suits that are in the show, like the navy with the white pinstripe going around.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the white piping and stuff.
And the numbers, like number 39 and
Yeah. And then he wore like white deck shoes, white tennis type shoes in it too.
Yeah.
John Rhys Davies. Okay, I know him.
Yes, Gimli. And he was Gimli in Lord of the Rings, and he was in Indiana Jones.
Chris Brogan's here. Welcome, Chris. Glad to have you.
I don't know much about Wales. The chat knows more than me.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Yeah, slightly. Yeah.
As John heard as Winston. Okay. So yeah, it was the early, maybe he was on promoting that. No, I feel, it was in the early 80s when I saw him on the Today Show.
Yeah. I think he got nominated for like 8 Oscars or something. For best actor, but only won one, I think. Yes, it is. Yeah.
KG bookkeeping. Tetris movie was fantastic. Cycle yelling that this person was the first person ever to win the stage finish of Alpe d'Huez while
Yeah,
in
that's a really big deal in cycling. The Alpe d'Huez is one of the hardest mountain climbs in the entire circuit of a year. Basically, it's iconic. Yeah, it's and he did it without a great team. Well, a lot of his team members had fallen that year and injured themselves, so he did very well to get there. Yeah, he was mainly the workhorse of the team usually. So he was the guy who took all the wind, the strength of the wind and stuff. So the rider behind doesn't have to use as much effort and stuff. And then and then the rider behind would take over at some points during the stage and take the lead. That was his main job. But that year, the rider who was supposed to do that fell, so he just carried on into the lead and won that year. Yeah, I'm just gutted he fell twice. The Giro d'Italia with that water bottle cycle. Yeah, that water bottle. So so what happens is they end. There's a bump, and they all landed on this bump, and the water bottles came flying out of all the bikes, and they would hit the wheels of the riders next to them, and they would just flip over, basically. Yeah,
and
they
that
go
happened to everybody.
A lot of people. But they're traveling at maybe, well, they're averaging 36 kilometers per hour over how many miles cycle? You'll know cycle will know how many miles. It's a lot of kilometers. Yeah. There's some of the toughest people, yeah.
This is the most Tour de France we've ever had on the show. So enjoy it.
I think Geraint broke his hip and carried on racing.
He broke his hip and kept going?
Yeah, in an Olympics, and then still finished third, I think. In an Olympics or Commonwealth Games or something. Like a lot of the riders, I think one person maybe fractured the spine or something.
For the entire race, I think.
Yeah, for a section of a race, like a day's race, basically.
Oh, a day's race. Okay.
Yeah.
And while we're waiting for that answer, is this the first time you've ever read Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Hard Traveling Heroes? You actually brought it up because you wanted to talk about it, and I'm always up for talking about it. It's my favorite comic series ever.
Yeah, I mean, the art is gorgeous.
And what did you now? We have to put it in context that this whole thing started in 1970 when I was, pulling the comics off the racks in my local drugstore. And so when I first saw, I still have my copy of number 76, Green Lantern, Green Arrow. The first thing I thought of when I looked at the cover, let me show you. You gave me a lot of slides, thank you, and I will show them.
Okay.
But let me show the first one, which is the cover, the famous cover. It's this.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's ridiculous. How could an arrow break a lantern? That lantern's made out of, it's not made out of glass. And I said, what is this ridiculous book?
Well, he does
and I opened
yellow
it up.
arrows.
Well, it looks green here.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's still when he had the necessary yellow impurity. So I said, what is this ridiculous book? And why is Green Arrow in it? And what's happening here? I was 11. And I opened it up and I was like, whoa, I know this artist. This is some great art. And then it turns out that it has this is easily one of the most famous panels in comics history. This is when the era of the social consciousness came out. When you're within the first 6 pages, you're introduced to the concept of racism in the DC universe, and they had never tackled that before.
Martin Luther King and Robert F. Kennedy turn up to the end of the first issue, don't they? In one of the panels, yeah.
Yeah, with Green Arrow saying with his saying that the country was sick, and he wasn't wrong. Yeah, right here. You're right.
Yeah. And if you're actually talking, what happened to those two gentlemen, it was only a few years after that. Well, a couple of years after the death of them that this book came out. Basically, I'm not sure if the Nifty 50 had crashed yet by that point. Maybe that was 71 or down to 73 or something.
76 came out in 1970, and they were both shot in 1968.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's quite raw, really, to put them into the book.
I didn't even know what the writing was. I was just like, this art is amazing. I recognize the artist. They used Neil Adams on I don't think they had started him on Batman yet, but he was doing for World's Finest. And that's where I first think I saw his art. He was doing covers, I think, for Action Comics. But I got it home and I was just shocked at how relevant it was, and I had never read anything like that before.
Even today, actually, I think it's still because it still deals with racism, poverty, pollution, drugs. They're very heavy topics for an 11-year-old.
Yeah. And then I told you about when I was 13 and I got the last issue, 89, and my mother saw it. You put it in Discord, so let me see if I can pull it up.
Yeah.
Just because it's relatively funny at this point. This is, let's see, they let me share this and I'll tell the story about this.
Okay. Yeah, it's emulation of the crucifixion. Yeah.
Yeah, they're redoing the crucifixion. This guy that is kind of a hippie guy, Isaac. But I got this when I was 13, and my parents were waiting outside the drugstore for me and to come out with my weekly haul.
Yeah.
And my mother looked at the cover and was just like, "Oh, good heavens, what are you reading?" She was just absolutely disgusted by this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Mom, you don't understand." And she's right. You're right. I don't. Ugh. But at that point, I was eagerly grabbing every one of these books, and it took them a long time to come out. It wasn't monthly at that point.
Yeah.
And they definitely had to have at least one fill-in issue, because Neil Adams was notoriously slow even back then.
Okay.
So it took 2 years for it to go from 76 to 89, and I feel like 88 might have been the fill-in issue where he just did the cover, and it was a bunch of
I can't remember who wrote it actually. I think maybe did Bernie Wrightson come in for one of the issues for the art as well.
Not in the book.
Okay.
They don't include it in the I don't think they include it in this because there's no it was like a reprint.
Okay.
It was just Neil Adams drew the I think it was 88 or maybe somewhere in there, and it was just a reprint issue of back issues of Green Lantern from the Golden Age and the Silver Age, stuff like that. And
because one of my favorite stories happens just before this issue with the Green Arrow walking through the street, and he ends up coming across a protest. I'm not sure if I could go spoilers yet. Can I go spoilers yet?
Oh yeah, I mean, this book's been out for over 50 years, so yeah.
Yeah,
You're
okay. But yeah, where a young boy shot a young black boy shot, and the effect that it has on him and stuff. I thought that was a brilliant issue. And then the issue just before then was absolutely excellent with the new Green Lantern.
Oh, John Stewart.
John Stewart as the new Green Lantern, yeah.
Yeah.
John Square Stewart, I think it was. Square was his nickname or something, yeah. Yeah, I thought that was a brilliant issue. But I think one of my favorite characters is the Galactic, the council member of the Galactic.
From OA.
From OA, who joins them for the first few issues to find what's the meaning of humanity. I think that's absolutely brilliant when he has to make that very important decision on that boat between the life of his friend or the polluting the river and causing the life of more people. Yeah.
Okay, so Wrightson did some inking on a GLGA interior. Okay.
Yeah.
At the time, it was pretty controversial.
Yeah.
Almost as much as the drug ones.
Oh yeah, with
this came without the Comics Code seal of authority. This is, of course, a very famous. Let me move away from my plushies here so I can show it better. But this is where
that was a really brilliant issue, actually. I thought, especially towards the end where he turns and he's got tears down his face because he's, his adopted son has basically grown up. He's finally realized that he can carry himself on his own and stuff, and he doesn't have to mollycoddle him as much anymore.
Yeah, and there's no. Oh, there is a Comics Code on this.
Yeah.
Wow, I thought this was without a Comics Code, but it did somehow get.
And the issues were only 25 cents.
Sorry.
The issues were only 25 cents as well.
Yeah, the first issue was when I was 15 cents. And when I was first buying books as a young 7-year-old, they were 12 cents.
Okay.
But the story, these guys were, looking back through the lens of right now, to the writing, Denny O'Neil, I think he had certain areas where he was comfortable, like the first area, like the first issue in racism. But the drug issues, while I am really, I'm appreciative of the fact that he tackled the drug.
Yeah,
I feel like that that his portrayal of junkies wasn't
I agree.
particularly accurate. They were like clean cut and in a house and waiting to score. And I think it's more like in The Wire, the first, episode of The Wire, when it's guys lying in the gutter trying to figure out where their next fix is coming from.
Yeah.
And the N word is dropped in these.
Well, there's a lot of words, that aren't acceptable anymore that are dropped. I would say. I think I found that with a lot of Dennis O'Neil's work, actually, where he tackles difficult issues. He's got the right heart going into it, but maybe he doesn't write it with the sensibilities that you should have written it with towards certain maybe groups of people or different backgrounds. Especially there's terms like redskins used, pale face, whitey, all of those controversial words. I mean, the second issue starts with Nazi officers that have been freed from the prison of war camps, and it's just there's a few issues like that. But if you can I don't know, if you can accept there was a different time. I think you'll be all right. Yeah, you'll be all right. So you can, it's not as he's trying to make a point basically.
Yeah.
And a very important point about racism and the way that people would speak and treat each other and things. So maybe having that terminology actually really reflects. There's no point hiding it. Do you understand what I mean? There's no point hiding how people really are treated, I suppose, or how the words that are used against people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, wait, which? Okay, 87 was the introduction of Jon Stewart.
Yeah, I love that issue.
Here's where you're saying that after Speedy kicks and goes cold turkey, that he ends up walking away, being on his own, and that is a moving moment.
Yeah, I really love actually how they meet each other at the beginning. I think it's like the right amount of kookiness. That's the only way I can describe it. Like you would expect the Silver Age book to be. It's not over the top in that sense. It's sort of just the right amount of silliness. The only thing I can think of really, even though there's very serious issues, there's some maybe quite funny moments that when you're reading back at them. Maybe for me, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I found it to be, because they also carry. Sorry, he also covers cults and, as you said, pollution, and there's a lot of stuff that he covers in here, and so it was 76 that issue, and the appearance of Conan #1 with Barry Windsor Smith drawing it. That is when I consider the Bronze Age to have started in 1970. Okay. So that I think other people will say different things, but that's because that's when also Batman got darker. That's when he really became more of a Dark Knight type with Neil Adams and Denny O'Neil on it. On the book with the in the introduction of Ra's al Ghul.
It's actually really interesting to see the difference between a 1970 book and maybe something written, at the early 80s, and just the position of that. Really, I think that's quite fascinating because you can see the little movement happening. How deep they'll go with the stories, or how dark they'll go, especially in DC. DC became very dark in the 80s, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is good to know. Just the Comics Code was relaxed in a 1971 update, allowing for the 2 drug issues, 85 and 86.
Yeah. I'm just wondering because it's I'm not sure how much drugs was an issue because for me, looking in back, it's before my time and stuff. I'm thinking 80s with like Ronald Reagan and Nancy Reagan with the Say No, and that's what I'm thinking. But this is even before that, isn't it? It's a lot before that. So that's the thing.
Yeah, and he was specifically covering heroin and heroin use, whereas I feel the 80s were more. When cocaine was more readily available to the general populace, perhaps even including a certain YouTuber that was in college in the 1977 to 1981 period. I'm not saying it's me, but I'm just saying it could have been me.
Yeah, it was somebody else. Yeah,
that had ready access to it in his fraternity. So, it
deals with humanity.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah,
because I love that Hal, right at the beginning, Hal makes a decision with protecting the law and order. Basically, that's his oath, really, isn't it? And he breaks that oath to do what's morally correct. Does that make sense? I mean,
Yeah.
the first issue is about a landlord who exploits his residents and that sort of thing. And I know that Robert F. Kennedy, who appears towards the end of the book, was influential, especially in creating rights for tenants. That was one of his biggest things that he did while he was in New York. So represented New York. So that was one of the biggest things he did. And it's still a problem
No,
to
sure.
this day. What's worrying is just how relevant it is, because it feels like not much has been done about a lot of the issues that are dealt with in the book, which is a real shame, really. I just think it's wonderful that Hal gives up a significant portion of his power and basically goes on leave.
Right.
Yeah, is to follow this path of what it means to be human, I suppose. Yeah.
And the thing is also why it stuck out so much is because everything before this, especially on the DC side, now Marvel had kind of changed things up earlier. They were two different format. They covered different topics tonally, but for DC, it was always, I mean, it was the Batman 66 era, like from 66 through 69. Batman and Superman, they were dealing with typical superhero silliness at the time for the time. So when this book landed and it was dealing with real life issues, it was definitely a shock. It was a big thing of cold water to the face that said, whoa, how did this get in my not only how did this get in my comic book, but why can't comic books be more like this now that I realize how interesting and strong the writing can be and the art? Why can't they all be like this? This is way more interesting than the earlier issues that I grew up reading. So that's why it really landed with an impact.
I'm wondering how it read when you reread it as an adult, actually, because you having read it at 11 or 12, you would have, there must have been some stuff that would have gone over your head at that age, that you've come back to it and you've gone, wow, they actually, there's a little snippet or a few words or something, just, like a snide remark every now and again, especially from Green Arrow. He does make quite a few snide remarks about, his political views, I suppose. You could say his political views, but it's just what's ethically and morally correct, I suppose. But
he they definitely made Green Arrow the morally superior of the two to introduce Hal into the real world, since Hal was mostly a space guardian and Green Arrow is street level guardian type, street level hero. That's a good question. I took everything. I recognized the issues as I was growing older, 11, 12, and 13. I recognized the issues that were happening. I didn't, and I understood what was trying to be accomplished, especially with Green Arrow's speech towards the end of 76. I don't, as a young boy, I don't know how much I related to it, but I understood what they were trying to say.
Yeah.
Because I didn't grow up in a big city, and I didn't grow up. I grew up in a beach town in California, so my childhood was relatively idyllic, of course. But it was a time of great turmoil in the States, so which is can be said, but there were a lot of protests because of Vietnam and stuff, and I can't even remember if Vietnam's covered in this. I don't think it is. But
I mean, there's a lot of things connected to pop culture, isn't it? Really, you know.
Yeah.
Like there's a character that's a bit like Oates or Bob Dylan in one of the issues, one of the earlier issues, especially with the miners and the mining town.
Right. Oh, it was trying to get a better condition for the miners that's rallying them. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, the do you know when Black Canary turns up and she's brainwashed, I suppose.
Yeah.
That was very Marilyn Manson-esque, wasn't it? Or Brian Jonestown, you know?
Yeah.
That sort of, you know, there was, you know, reflections on the news at the time, I suppose, into the book. That made it into the book without using or directly naming them, like metaphorically.
Right.
Yeah, which I found really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Here we are. It was the next issue, 77, where it was the miners versus the. Yeah. Here it is.
Yeah, that one.
The miners trying to rally
Yeah.
to get better conditions.
Yeah.
Let me highlight you real quick.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a good question. Weren't both O'Neill and Adams having problems with alcohol at the time? If so, you could say that O'Neill knew a bit of addiction.
Ooh.
First of all, I did not know that they were both struggling with alcohol at the time. O'Neill, let's just say he was. I will say the worlds of, speaking as an alcoholic myself, the worlds that an alcoholic inhabits and a heroin addict inhabits can be two very different worlds. So he would know about the effect of addiction, but I'm just saying that I think as far as the heroin addicts were depicted, I feel like it was probably a pretty cleaned up version of what the reality was at the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's still an issue where I live, especially, you know, when you're going to the pharmacy maybe in the morning and, you know, you have a queue of addicts waiting for their methadone and.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's very common here. You know, you get prescriptions, you know, you get prescription for methadone to try and get yourself off of it all. And it's difficult because there's always people you know or grew up with, or, you know, it's very an at-home issue. You know, it hits you in your core and the how it changes a person.
Yeah,
that's the hardest thing, I think, with addiction, is just how much of a control it ends up having on the person. That things that maybe matter more to them in reality don't, because it's a very insular, and I think it can be very insular and a lonely addiction. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It seems much more real, I would think, to you. I've never seen anybody line up for methadone, so I've never been exposed to that in real life. So you've experienced something that I definitely have not.
I've always grown up with that, so it's
really,
you know, around, like alcoholism as well, real big problem. Yeah, there's a lot of. I think I live in a place where it's not something people hide from. I suppose the attitude of people here are a bit more, you know, I don't know, open towards just, you know, everybody knows somebody. Like I know people have struggled with alcohol a lot and things like that. It's just it's it's difficult because it's impossible to find a solution to it. Really, it's difficult to find the actual solution to the problem. It's one of the biggest problems, especially alcohol, because alcohol can alcohol and drug can hurt the lives of not just one person but multiple people. For example, if somebody decides to drive while they're on alcohol, you could take the life of everybody in another car and the people in your car. It actually, I think there was a study a while back that just how much problem it causes. It can cause, yeah. So it's something I've always been wary of. That I don't drink for a lot of those reasons, actually, personally, because I know people who have struggled with alcohol, and I just decided to kick it when I was 23. So
nice.
I just decided to kick it because of the effect it had on people I loved. Yeah. And I think it's probably similar to you as well. I think love is one of the biggest factors of overcoming it, I think.
I definitely, that was the main motivator for me, was if I did not stop, I was going to lose my family.
Yeah.
And it didn't take me long to realize that.
Yeah.
So I had, by the time I had sobered up, I was able to look back with a clear eye at the damage I had already done to my family. And fortunately, I was able to, over a period of time, while I couldn't erase my actions, I was able to I wasn't able to erase my past actions, but through the way I acted, in the way I acted and the way I act now currently, while I can't erase my past actions, I can present myself as somebody capable of love and being loved. So, whereas I think my main emotion that came out when I was drinking was anger. And that's a good way to alienate those who love you very quickly. So I think you're right when you say love can be a main motivator, because I didn't want to lose the love of my wife and daughter.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm way behind. Well, no, I'm not too far behind. Drugs, cults, and pollution. Glad that stuff is gone now. Yeah, right. And don't forget racism. Yeah,
I mean, pollution is still a very heavy topic, especially here, because all our rivers have been polluted by the water companies, for example. That's something that's, protesting is also another one. The right to protest is another one that's quite interesting in this book as well. Just those are rights that are being taken away in a lot of places today. The right to protest,
Well, Bunk, I think you saw Elan in his lobster hat. If you haven't, he has
I actually got a new hat today.
Oh.
Somebody from my friend from America sent me, went to Bass Pro Shops and got me a raccoon tail hat or something. He said it's all the rage over there.
It actually, I think the tail goes in the back, but I am not kidding when I say the like my brother growing up in the 50s, like my brother did.
Yeah.
And those hats, every little boy had one of those. They called them coonskin caps, raccoon skin
pretending
caps.
To be Davy Crockett.
Exactly, because Davy Crockett was on television at the time, in black and white in the 50s. And that's what he wore. His name was Fess Parker, the actor. But it was a rage, those raccoon skin caps.
Yeah.
I have no idea if it was real raccoon skin. I doubt it. But
apparently the tail is real raccoon.
Oh.
Smells like raccoon. Yeah. Yeah, I get odd things.
Manga Geekdom was here. I hope you're still here. AS is back. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Elan, that rereading factor you're talking about is real. Different age, life experience, etc., makes almost every reading a little different. Great point, my friend. Yeah, these stories do hit differently now. Well, of course, everything hits differently now than when I was a little kid. I was life experience and stuff changes how you read something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. This is one of those books you reread every year, correct? Or close?
No, I've read it enough that I have most of it, not most of, but a good chunk of it memorized. I think Justice is the book that I reread every year because I always forget the twist.
There's a few things we haven't talked about. Is the misogyny?
Oh, the casual misogyny in here.
Yeah, the casual misogyny
between Green Arrow and Black Canary.
Yeah. But what I love is the few moments Black Canary one-ups the two of them with their, macho, macho gung-ho macho-ness going into a fight, for example.
Right.
And I think that's a lot of fun seeing her. She also, the love lives don't end very well in these books either. I mean, I love the ending of the issue 89 where he realizes the person he loves is a different, has moral standings that are to him he has grown so much that they are now deplorable to him for her to just casually say it's okay. Ferris.
Carol Ferris, yeah.
Carol Ferris, yeah. To just waft away the fact that her company are causing such tremendous damage and death to the lives of people. And the fact that Black Canary can completely stand on her own 2 feet, no problem at all. Yeah, I think that was great. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's definitely. I think men's attitude towards women back in 1970. I think that 50 years later, maybe in a lot of men it hasn't changed, but I think that in a lot of men, the casual misogyny, that's a good question. Since you're younger than I am, I'm wondering how much misogyny is kind of inculcated in us as we grow up and observe things around us, whether or not what our parents are like towards each other, or how television and movies can influence us, and comic books or books, or just the outside world with our attitudes as men towards women. I
think the sexualization of things is a bit much, of a lot of things, really. There's there's too much of that, I feel. But you could say that because, well, in Europe, in like France or something, you would watch TV in the middle of the day, and you could have a completely naked person on television. It's not watershed or anything. It's that's just normal. I think there's a way of displaying a person naked in a non-sexual way and in a sexual way, if that makes complete sense. But it's just in everything. If you look at music videos, how much those have changed, that's one that's shocked me. I think when I was little, I was just like, whoa, that's just a bit much. That's just a music video on MTV, and you're just okay, yeah, maybe that's gone too far, I suppose. Yeah.
Mallory, good to have you. Good to have you here. The most handsome duo around.
Thank you.
Happy to see another stream for you guys. Thank you for being here, Mallory.
Thank you, Mallory.
Alcoholism and heroin are definitely two different addictions, but honestly, not too much has changed with the opioid epidemic. and it definitely touches all types from every walk of life.
Yeah.
And Europe in general has a much better grasp on how to treat addiction than we do here in the US. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't criminalize people for being addicts here.
Well,
you're criminalized mainly for dealing.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of countries in Europe have legalized drugs, for example. So you can have centres that you can go to take them safely, where nurses are there and all sorts of things like that. I know Portugal. Portugal is very interesting if you want to look into that on how they treat drugs. It's really fascinating how Portugal do it. Actually, yeah, it's really well ahead of its time. Really, yeah. They only criminalize the selling, not the taking of drugs. So you could be in possession of drugs and it wouldn't be illegal. It would only be to sell. Yeah.
So if I had my own heroin, I could take it into like a place where nurses would help me take it safely.
Yeah. There's even talks. There's even talks here of making it legal to purchase in pharmaceuticals. That's
really.
Yeah, really, because it would actually help in tax for paying for the problems to do with it for a start. So you could raise tax, for example, to put a VAT or whatever, value added tax 20% or 10% it is in America or something. But that would pay for the treatment of those people then. Some of those people that are, able to, but they can ask for treatment in those centres as well.
Mm-hmm.
For example, yeah. But I think one of the biggest issues is homelessness with addiction. I think the lead onto homelessness. Yeah, that's one of the most difficult issues to deal with. I think. Yeah, but it's fascinating actually how they're trying to, because they're not really, they're going after the gangs and doing more reconnaissance work to get those higher members of the gangs to stop the drug feed. For example, I know in North Wales, the actual people that would be selling drugs is usually somebody at the age of like 14 to 16. That's the drug dealer, but he's actually been what's the word used for taking somebody away from somewhere without their consent, for example, trafficking. So those children are usually trafficked by older gang members, and then because they're children, they would end up in prison for a shorter sentence, for example.
Okay.
But if you would, so it's basically about like trying to find loopholes in the law to take advantage of it, and they'd usually traffic them by threatening either their family members to hurt their family members and things like that. So they would end up, they're usually from major cities, and then they would be trafficked all the way out here. So if you're standing in a public place, in like a town courtyard or square, it would always be that weird person was like 14 standing on his own with a hoodie. That is the one that's selling the drugs out of his pockets, not an adult. It will never be an adult here in the UK. I know that for a fact. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a real problem. Yeah, it's a real problem because it's to do with county lines. We have a thing called county lines. It's the same as in America. You could commit a crime in Texas and then you could run away into Arizona or Nevada or something, or New Mexico, and then you could, commit another crime there, and then they don't have communication between each other, so they don't end up catching you, basically. So you'd have to be trialed in multiple places and things like that. So they're trying to eradicate that and having an international, like a national thing, because there used to be all paperwork and things, So you'd have to be in contact. That's what they do basically. So if a child gets caught in a certain place, once he makes bail, they'll move him to another county basically. Yeah, it's a big problem. Yeah, big problem. Yeah.
Bunk likes your coonskin cap.
Thank you.
Bowie, David Bowie.
Do I have a David Bowie hat?
You need that
No.
hat, but with lobster tail. Nice hat.
Yeah,
We all wear those in America.
yeah, I've got a traffic cone.
A traffic cone. That's perfect. Dr. NK, welcome.
Yeah.
It's an unwinnable war when we figure out that we will finally be able to help people. The internet has made it far worse, I think, since we can stay in our echo chambers. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think being maybe the facelessness of the internet, maybe as well. I mean, I think a lot of people wouldn't type certain things they would say anonymously as they would in person or at a workplace to a colleague. I think it's just, just respect everyone, just show a little respect. Always lead life with compassion.
I have always
sympathy.
tried to just treat people like I want to be treated.
Yeah. Everybody's going through something, so you might as well be nice to everyone. There's no point of you adding to that pain and stuff, yeah. But it's just always lead with compassion and sympathy. Always, put yourself in their shoes, basically.
I used to do a Bible study fellowship in this county prison for 8.5 years. The one guy said he used to send his own son to run drugs into houses and collect money. As a father, I was stunned. It is crazy. Well, it sounds like Elan knows that it's more common than we think. Organized crime growing pot in the UK is fascinating and dark.
Yeah.
Still illegal to possess, supply, and produce controlled substances in the UK. Penalty usually depends on a number of things.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, Drink's correct on that one. We're a lot harsher than the rest of Europe.
Well, somehow we've gone from Green Lantern, Green Arrow into a much deeper, darker talk.
Yeah, I know. Can we call each other chums now? That's the word. That's the way they keep calling each other chums in the book. Don't they? Come on, chum. Let's go, chum.
Old chum.
I thought that was brilliant. Yeah. Yeah. I just, I didn't. I was worried, because sometimes you can read it. Oh, thank you, my tulip. But I think sometimes you can read an older series, but I find this book so relevant.
Yeah, it's
even
still
today's
relevant.
issues.
Yeah,
especially some of those final issues. Some of those final issues are really, really relevant. Especially the things that happened during the pandemic. Gosh, I'm going to make it dark again. I don't want to go dark again now.
That's okay.
Yeah, I think we should talk about it. I think it's good to talk about such difficult topics. It needs to be talked about because it's not right that it's happening. That's all. It's just not right that the things that happened. I'm sure you had I'm thinking like George Floyd with the boy being shot at the end for no reason and things like that. Yeah, that's the sort of thing I'm thinking of, and how relevant it is still today, especially in America, because that has a very Americanized view, that book as well. They're purposely traveling America to find what's gone wrong. And we have a very, very dark view here, but I just want to say I'm actually an optimist. I mean, think of all the great things we have done. We created the vaccine in 2 years, broke that amazing time. If you actually think of that entire history, like there's a test tube baby in that, for example, in one of the issues, it deals with the idea of the first test tube baby and that we're going to eradicate certain types of people, and people aren't going to have babies with green eyes or disabilities, or those are real issues, but that's not the case, is it? There's a lot of I think when you're looking at something in such a narrow view, such a pinpoint in time, it's difficult to realize just how far we've come as human beings. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really that long in the span of the universe that we were, starting fire with two pieces of flint.
Yeah.
Really, in the grand scheme of things. So it's and to think how much we've come on with medicine, technology. I mean, I would have never met you if
That's
without
true.
the advancements of the internet. So and the technology behind that and those sort of things, and the people in the chat as well who all of you I get to call friends. So it's amazing, actually, how I think things are always going in a better direction. I think a bit like entropy. It ends up being scattered all over the place, but it actually ends up being better that way, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the overall. That's the lesson, really. I think maybe we haven't talked about is Hal Jordan's growth as a person throughout the book. That's one of the biggest things in the book for me, is how much he's grown as a person and what he stands for, and his moral compass, and how he stands for what's right in the face of injustice. There we go.
Yeah, because in the very first issue, he's very cut and dried on the
Yeah.
side of law.
Yeah.
Doesn't see any gray area or what could be behind somebody's protest or possible breaking of the law or something.
Yeah.
He was very much a space cop in that first issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a good point. His growth, that's part of the whole story, is his growth along with the Guardian from Oa becoming more aware of.
Yeah, but he also changes the council at Oa as well. He causes them, he turns to them and goes, I don't want to serve you anymore if that's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
And they really do start to reconsider the consequences of doing things exactly by the book, I suppose. Yeah. It's what's correct in here, not here, I suppose. Yeah. In your heart, not in your head. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a definite purposeful breakaway from what had gone on beforehand.
Yeah.
I mean, by introducing the gray areas and the street level stuff, where you have to use judgment and the moral compass, as you say, that was a purposeful breakaway from what the earlier stuff in the Silver Age in DC Comics, anyway, was. Hal Jordan in the Silver Age would never question the Guardians, and they were seen as infallible.
Yeah.
And that is the complete opposite here. They're fallible, and he questions them.
Yeah.
They see him as fallible because he's too human, but he's able to make them see as well.
Yeah. Yeah. He ends up making them, I think, respect the human nature, I suppose. It's sort of see value in it. It's difficult to describe. Yeah, it's like following a journey of finding out what it means to be a human being, isn't it? Really, Hal's discovering himself of what it really means to be a human being. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
And what it stands for him personally. Yeah, I think I just thought it was a great book. So I can understand why you love it, Jess. I can understand why you love it. Yeah.
It changed my comic book life, definitely. And I don't know. I think I'm not looking back at it with the eyes of nostalgia, but I always, it definitely changed me as a comic book collector and made me look at comic books differently after I read it. And after I read the whole series, and yeah, you never know what's going to appeal to somebody to make something their favorite or something they hold dear to them. Sometimes it's what you read as a kid, or something, maybe something that hits with you as an adult. But this hit and has always stuck with me. This whole run.
One panel I really love, I think, that expresses just how comics could be, is the Black Canary with the 3 panels of her face in shock.
Yeah, let me see if I can. Wait, did you have that?
I think I might have put it in
okay,
the.
just a sec.
Yeah.
Let me see.
But
Let me see if I can pull that up.
There's something. I think we naturally respond to somebody's facial expressions subconsciously, and I think you could never really truly comprehend a horror like that, through a book.
You can give us the context for this.
Yeah, she's been brainwashed, and she's meant to be shooting Green Arrow, and she can't. She just becomes compelled and can't, physically cannot do it, basically. Yeah, and the horror of where she is standing, and that she's even contemplating it in the first place.
And Green Lantern's right there, able to,
and he decides not to intervene.
Right.
Yeah, because he knows that she has to be able to make that decision on her own. Because she's actually been through a lot, a few, story-wise before this, losing a husband, and there's a few stories in the Justice League, for example. But she has to make that decision herself, or she will never believe in her own. How do I comprehend it? Believe in herself, basically, or in her own decision making.
Right, her own decision making, getting control of her own mind back. Yeah.
It's sort of a bit like I am the captain of my ship, and I chart its course sort of story at that moment in time.
Yeah.
But I just, that panel is brilliant. Those 3 panels are superb. Yeah. It's the paleness of her face as well. You can tell how much, the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going.
No, that's all I want to say. You can show some of the other panels. I mean, Yeah,
and you can see how very I'm trying to move something. But you can see how dynamic the art is, and
how he breaks the panels. I really love how he breaks the panels.
Yeah, and just how realistic his drawing is.
Yeah, I just thought those were fantastic touches. It's almost like it's 3D and popping out the page. When he does that, like somebody's staring you directly in the eye, because they've cut them out of the panel. Yeah, it's and facing you. He's almost like he's talking to you in 4th person, almost. Not quite, but that because of the art, it sort of gives that effect. Yeah.
Here's some more of the art, and why it was groundbreaking was it was very cartoony before this.
Yeah.
And he was always back then. He was, considered arrogant even back then as a young man, because he would say, if superheroes existed, this is how they would look, talking about his own drawings. But he's also completely right. I mean, he drew them so realistically.
Yeah. I mean, the movements and the motion in this. I mean, the choice to just even have the words on a diagonal angle. It's like you're one of the guys who's being flipped over.
Yeah. Okay, wait. I didn't even know that was a real gun she was holding. That 1911 she's holding now doesn't have a real sight, and AS and Doug are agreeing. I thought that was a completely just made up gun to hold in her hand.
I would never know. I would never know that as a Brit.
No, me
as a Welsh
either.
person, I would never know that. Would I?
No. Well, I've seen more guns in comics than I've ever seen in real life. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I just think the blues and blacks, especially together in this book, are really, really something special. There's a few pages like this throughout the book. Yeah, I just love the dynamism of it. You can really feel that person's face being smashed against that wall, even though there's no wall there. You can sort of, I want to touch my nose, check if it's still there.
Yeah. Let me show another. Good to see you, Belgian Ellen. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Let me go to stop sharing. Let me show another panel that you were kind enough to put up for me. Okay, she had the gun that apparently didn't have a rear sight that neither of us knew anything about. Now here the coloring is really good too on this next one.
Yeah.
And so he's in a burning building.
But you can see the ferocity in his eyes because he's sort of understanding. Well, in this scenario, you know why this building has been torched to destroy a document of great importance to the Indian tribe. And
oh, right.
Yeah. And I just love how it almost pops out the page. His face, he just sort of, it's like he's jumping out of the page almost. I just think it's superb. Yeah.
Yeah. And his perspective and everything that Neil Adams used, and a lot of times he'd do the pencils and Giordano would do the inks. And I always thought that Giordano's inking really helped tighten up these pencils, because you can see in some issues when it's just Neil Adams, I feel like Giordano, you miss the tightening up of Giordano's ink.
I agree. Yeah.
Even though I had heard that even after Giordano would ink, that then Adams may have gone back in and changed some things, but I felt that was a perfect team on this art.
Yeah.
Giordano was a very good artist on his own, but I think putting those two together on this book, and I think the Batman run also by Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams, Giordano just did a really good job of tightening up these inks.
I just, I had to stop and look at some of these pages over and over, not many books really do that to you, where you just end up staring at the art and admiring the art and enjoying it. I mean, it was such an easy book to read. It's not you don't really need great depth to understand the topics or that are dealt with. And it's not really a difficult. Yeah, it has a nice flow to it. The book has a nice flow to it, and it's just, if the art makes you stop and look twice, I think that's a really good sign. Yeah.
Yeah, and in the back of this, absolute that I have, there's a short story. I actually don't remember where it's from, but it shows you. I don't think it looks like Neil Adams re-inked this, but it's definitely been recolored, but it's also not so garish as the Batman by Neil Adams omnibus that's been recolored, but it definitely looks more modern. And then it looks, these are the cover gallery 1983, following the original covers. Okay, 1983, that's fine. Oh, that's interesting that it's got all when they reissued it. Oh, I've got.
Yeah, this is an incredibly important moment in the book. Is
wait, let me highlight you.
think it's a
There we
bit
go.
blurry, but yeah, it's when he makes that decision to,
This is the Guardian.
yeah, the Guardian on the boat, where he makes the decision to save Hal Jordan's life instead of the. I think his journey is magnificent, to be honest. I wish he would have stayed longer on the book. Actually, the Guardian character,
The Guardian?
yeah, I think it was his journey was just as good as Hal's. Actually, I thought it was fantastic just having him around. He wasn't always doing very much, but
Right.
he was always observing. Yeah, I just thought that was you could see the complete shift and change
What's happening here?
in the tone of the book there at that moment.
Yeah.
That was, yeah.
Oh, next week's guest, Cliff on Comics made it.
Oh,
You'll see
hey,
Elan, Cliff, and Omnibo on next Saturday at a special time, 5 p.m.
That sure sounds like trouble.
Cliff will bring the trouble, I think. I think he intends to, which I am all for.
Okay.
Great guest, and you're a great guest, and Omnibo's a great guest. Omnibo was on the show yesterday to close it out, and
yeah,
that's going to be a lot of fun next Saturday at 5. Cliff is a great guest, and I look forward to that one. Doug, yeah, his ring was weakened by the Guardians. I think we talked about it.
Yeah.
Oh, Cliff, don't make me highlight that one. Oh, you dog. I think the Guardians depowered his ring a little bit, right?
Yeah, it stopped him from he couldn't actually protect. He was not protected, basically. It wasn't it's not quite immortality, but a bullet would hit him and it could kill him. He could die in that
because he was abandoning his space route to take this journey with the Guardian through America, and he wasn't going to be patrolling the spaceways for the Owens. Yeah,
basically. And I just thought he never took that ring back. Took that power back. Actually, that's the thing. I
think
really
they retconned back into him.
Oh, did they? Oh, damn them.
I don't know. So many things have happened since then. So yeah.
But I just it was just a great moment, because he goes back to the council a number of times, to the Guardians a number of times throughout the book, and it's not that he has anything against them per se. It's just he sort of understands their lack of empathy, I suppose.
Right. Let's highlight this as part of what you're saying is as the Guardians are judging him here.
Oh yeah, this page is brilliant.
His one fault is that he's too human.
Yeah. It's just a magnificent. I wish I drew that myself. I wish I could draw like that myself.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. This Hal Jordan face right here, that is pretty impressive. That was,
and the determination in his eyes. Look at the determination, and he turns his back to the council as well. That's in that image.
And they realize what they would be losing with him.
Yeah. It's just superb, isn't it? That page is iconic, I think.
Yeah, you did a good job on these. Thank you for putting them in the Discord.
Okay, no problem.
Let's see. Okay, so I mean, this sequence is really cool because turns his back on the Guardians, and this is what the space is what he's supposed to be patrolling, and it's down to the Earth right here where he has decided to stay instead of patrolling for them. So it's a wonderful kind of, and it shows like that his heart here is in space, but he's got to get down to the planet to get down onto the streets and the roads to see what's really going on.
Yeah,
including the Owen here with his
I think the Owens are on their way to get he's on his way to get judged, isn't he, in court?
Oh, that's why he's got
Yeah.
his hands like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he himself has changed and found his humanity, even as no one. And he sacrifices his own immortality because he's changed his mind and he stands for what he believes in. I think that's a great message in the book, is, stand for what you believe in. Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Even against the odds. Yeah. Just stand for what's right. Yeah.
That is awesome. Beautiful. What a lovely run for Green Lantern. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
From Cliff, an incredibly gorgeous and sadly timely story. I recently read it with my buddy Seth and he loved it. That's great.
Yeah.
Cliff, you know what another book Seth should read is Promethea.
Oh, is that Alan Moore?
No, I'm teasing Cliff because I
Okay.
mispronounced it. It's Promethea, and I keep saying Promethea, and Cliff jammed me up about it, rightly so.
It's not quite as bad as Lane Wayne, is it?
Well, see, he's right there. He is. Promethea, right?
Yeah. We should ask a Greek. Do we have a Greek in the chat?
Yeah, there was a Greek earlier in the very fine condition stream, but I used to have a really strong base of Greek viewers when I first started out, but I have not heard from them in a long time.
Yeah.
Let me find another page.
Oh, they're probably just all sitting together, watching it together on the living room couch.
They were.
They go over to each other's houses and watch it together, probably.
There was like 4 of them that would watch. Okay, I forget what this was.
Oh, yeah.
For Medusa. Wow, look at that.
Yeah, I know.
That really does look like with 3D practically with those snakes.
I mean, he should have turned to stone, but still. Yeah. I think she's... Oh, I can't remember if it's the Amazons that turn up in that issue. Maybe. I can't remember, but he's being trialed. He's being trialed for being a man, I think, in that issue, I think.
Yeah, let's see. Gosh, I forget which one is from too.
Sinistro might be involved.
Sinistro.
Yeah.
Maybe this happens earlier. Gosh, this art is beautiful. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It does have the Themyscirans. Oh yeah, I forgot all about this issue.
Yeah. I mean, I think the drug issue is a really great one for the artwork for the psychedelia.
Yeah,
it's similar to the psychedelia I found in Alan Moore's Swamp Thing run as well. Very similar in style. Yeah.
This was, I think, was this 82 with the Harpies? Whoops, we go into the weird Spyro Agnew looking child hypnotizer guy.
Oh yeah,
that looks like former Vice President Spiro Agnew, who was under the Nixon administration. Okay. And I think they purposely made him, I mean, they had to have purposely made him look like that. Okay, yeah, this is issue 82, where she's like the leader of the Harpies.
Yeah.
In space. And they're going into that gem world. Yeah. Oh, I forgot about this. Oh, and there is Sinestro.
Yeah.
With like Lady Sinestro. I forget all about this. The Amazons.
Yeah, I think it's Sinestro's sister, I think. And he's manipulating her to do his bidding for Evil. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's his sister,
Yeah.
Lady Sinistro, or whatever her name is. Oh yeah, actually, I'm gonna have to refresh my memory on this one.
Yep. But it's just again, it's just fantastic. I mean, I'm really in awe of it, actually.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
This is a good one for you to pull because it
Yeah.
really shows the power of the art.
Yeah.
Because not everything in this run had to do with societal concerns. Like this one is more of kind of a more typical comic book plot where but there is societal stuff worked in there that where the Amazons are saying how like a man to doubt the power of an Amazon and stuff.
Yeah.
And then Sinestro's in there, and they jump into this gem world where Medusa is.
Yeah. And Black Canary has to plead with them for their lives, basically. And
Yeah.
And prove their good nature and worth. Yeah. It was a great book. There we go. That's all I'm going to say. What's the best way for somebody to collect this, Jess?
I personally, let me show this one from the drug issue. I personally feel like that I would rather have the absolute of this than in the new. This is the drug issue, so this shows Speedy. And look at that silhouette.
Yeah,
that the panels within that silhouette. I think in absolute form, it gives you the best stories, 76 through 89, and it gives it in oversized art. It's unretouched and unrecolored Adams art, and you'll get the same thing in the giant Green Lantern, Green Arrow omnibus that was the omnibus format. Green Arrow, I'm sorry, not Green Arrow. Neil Adams leaves after 89, and 90 is when I was introduced to Mike Grell's artwork. Mike Grell was not the same artist back then as Neil Adams. And of course, he was just starting out, and I thought he was an odd choice. He isn't. I mean, Mike Grell eventually became a fabulous artist, but he wasn't back then. And it was a jarring dislocation on difference in art. And I don't think when they started being the space traveling heroes, and it was a backup in the Flash comics and stuff, I really don't think those stories hold up as well as just this 76 through 89 absolute. I mean, it is a complete, if you're a Green Lantern completist, it is a huge, thick run of not only Green Lantern comics, but when they were reduced to a backup in Flash comics. I personally am not getting that omnibus. I'd rather just have this in oversized format. So I think the absolute, is the best way to collect this, in my opinion.
Yeah. Is it still in print?
The absolute, I believe it is. Let me check. Let me check here. Wait, why am I? What's this? Okay, wait. Okay. Nope, not there. Let me go here. The Bozo site. Just a sec. Green Lantern.
I'm sure somebody knows.
Green Arrow, hard traveling. There's a bunch. Green I don't want the omnibus. I should have started out with absolute. So loot. Okay. Looks like this one is out of print.
Yeah, shame.
But I will say DC has gotten better, as you see with the recent reprints of Transmet 1 through 3 and Promethea Volume 1 Absolute, which has been out of print for over 10 years. So if you can wait, I would wait, or maybe you could get it on eBay. I wonder if you can get it on eBay for a reasonable price.
I don't think so.
Probably not.
No. So Cliff says the Absolute Edition came out in 2015. So, but they've only just released the omnibus as well. So I doubt they would release anything to compete with it. Oh, Promethea. No, Promethea.
Yeah. Oh, but Seth's copy is an omnibus. Okay. I think that it's good. I loved Promethea, and I think you will too, Mink. As now that you can get, and the art by J.H. Williams III is just totally worth the absolute treatment. I
think we've said everything that needs to be said about the book.
You might as well get the omnibus then, because you can get it at a discount online. From, say, a place like organicpricebooks.com, where you can get $2 off with my code Omnidog, or if you get shipped 4 or more books together using code OmnidogSit, you get 5% off your order. And yes, I use my own code when ordering there because it saves real money.
Yeah.
AS says, I have to go now, but this is a wonderful stream. Showcase the intellectual depth of this community. Come for the ice cream. Stay for insight.
I forgot to bring.
Thank you.
Thank you, AS. Take care. No, I forgot to bring ice cream. Jess, we both did. We were full after yesterday, weren't we? We were both on ice cream yesterday. That's the problem.
Yes, I had a lot of ice cream. Yeah, and I'm glad that they're releasing it and that they have already announced book 2. So that's great. That gives me hope that this book will be reprinted. But if you can't wait, because who knows when it'll get reprinted, it's really worth it just to get these stories in it.
Yeah.
And maybe you like Space Traveling Heroes. Just because I didn't doesn't mean you might not. You may like those Space Traveling Heroes. I
did reach issue 90 on the DC app, and then I just noticed immediately that the artist had changed, and I just went, yeah, I'm going to start. This is where I'm supposed to stop.
That's what happened.
I don't need to do extra homework, extracurricular work for this.
That's what happened to me as a 13-year-old. I was like, oh, whoa, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
Oh. Munin, I forgot the ice cream yesterday. Oh, but you did bring toys to the stream. That's good.
Oh.
Anytime Elan can improve the depth of my intellect is a good time. Well, you guys will both get your tickets next week.
Mine's not very deep, Cliff. So it's
Jess is here too. Sinestro War is getting a reprint, so maybe before long it'll come back around.
Yeah.
Seriously great in-depth discussion.
Thank you, Matt.
Overview. Yeah, I appreciate I appreciate Elan's very introspective look at this book. This has been really good.
Yeah. Shall we move on to shoegaze, Jess?
At this point in the stream, at this point in the stream, okay, Cliff, just calm down there.
Let the elk behave, Cliff. Jeez.
Yeah. Oh boy, you picked some good ones to talk about.
Oh yeah. James can put the link to the
Oh,
playlist in the chat,
where?
so people can go and have a look or have a listen.
Oh, wait. Where is
after the show, of course?
Did you give me the playlist?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
Wait,
I made
what?
a playlist, a dream pop playlist with the shoegaze and dream pop playlist.
No
Hey,
problem.
thank you, James.
Oh, did he? Oh, he already did it. Oh, okay. Okay. I'll make sure I put this in. It's a shoegaze dream pop playlist for James to share on tomorrow's live stream. Okay. I also will create a link for it and put it in the description.
Yeah.
Omnidog's Guide to Shoegaze and Dream Pop. Awesome.
Yeah,
I haven't even visited. Let me go there right now myself. So I
mean, the influences of shoegaze from post-punk into shoegaze and then onwards is absolutely amazing story.
Look at all these perfect bands you've got.
Yeah, I mean, some of them have reformed and they're creating music again and are well worth watching live because they're excellent.
Yeah, I will say I did see the Cocteau Twins in concert in 1985, and then the very next night I saw Bruce Springsteen in concert. And I will wager that I was the only one besides the promoter of both of those shows to see both of those shows. I cannot. When I looked at it, was a tiny club for Cocteau Twins, and I looked around and I said, I don't think any of these people are going to be going to see Bruce Springsteen.
I mean, the Easy Street Band rock pretty hard, don't they? They really, they've played together for years and years.
They were really good, and that was also the last time I got high.
Okay. That's why you really remember it.
I do. Because I was like, God, I hate this stuff. This is ruining the experience for me. This is awful.
Yeah. But the Cocteau Twins didn't last very long, did they? Which is a real shame.
They were. I remember. I think they were around for at least 5 years.
Yeah,
which
so they split up before I was born.
Oh, brother, when were you born?
Oh, I'm not saying, Jess.
But
2003.
No, I don't. You could be 22. That's...
No, I never could be 22, Jess.
Oh, Badger's
not if you saw me walking.
You should have seen me watching. Kraken choice.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've left a lot of bands out. I mean, I've left some really, really important bands out. Like Spacemen 3 and
Did you include Swerve Driver and Ride in there?
Yeah. Okay. There's one song by Ride in there. There's 2 songs by Slow Dive because Slow Dive are my favorites.
Slow Drive. I think Slow Drive and My Bloody Valentine are probably the top 2 considered shoegaze groups.
And Ride, I'd say those 3 with Ride.
With Ride,
and
amazing. This is the only time I go into Reddit. I know better than to go into Reddit, but the shoegaze Reddit is pretty welcoming. I don't see very much judgment.
That was actually something within shoegaze that was true during that period. So the height of shoegaze was probably between 88 and 93. And then you would have had grunge and Britpop come through then. So you'd have had like Oasis and Blur, and
I loved Britpop
Smashing Pumpkins, Nirvana coming through. Those Seattle bands coming through, like Soundgarden. They're the best.
Yeah. Badger Stump says they formed in 81, which I knew, but I didn't know they lasted as long as 97.
Yeah. Gosh, yeah. There was something going on, I think, with the relationship between 2 people in the band that ended really.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Liz Fraser went on to. She's on. I just picked up on her vocals in something I just bought. I can't think of what it was at this point, but she was a guest vocalist on several different albums. But I was going to say, in this Reddit of shoegaze, the general opinion of the people in Reddit are Cocteau Twins are considered pre-shoegaze, whereas I consider them an essential progenitor of. Without Cocteau Twins, I don't think you get the birth of shoegaze. So I agree with your playlist. The Cocteau Twins should be included because I think
it's not written in stone. It's just about the influences of shoegaze and the path that shoegaze has taken. I mean, I could have taken the path of trip hop because shoegaze influenced trip hop and created bands like Massive Attack and
which I also
Portishead.
like.
Portishead, for example.
Yeah,
You know,
I love both those bands, and I did not know they were trip hop. I learned.
I mean,
that
I put a little interview with Kevin Shields for James to put a link to as well for people to watch, which is well worth a watch. I mean, the reason it's called shoegaze is because of these things.
right, the pedals that they
The pedals, they would have been, you know, they're on the floor, and it was influential in creating the sound, especially for the guitar players. It was. The drums and the bass would usually be incredibly dry because it was a wall of sound. You know, it was based on the Phil Spector wall of sound idea with the Ronettes. You know, if you know about that's what they're trying to emulate, but with distorted tone on the guitar. So it's very thick, gloopy. It's like listening to custard. That's the best way that I can describe it. But the term shoegaze.
I bought the Mortal Coil LPs back when they were first out, back in the early 80s. They are great. Got the Ride vinyl reissues a couple years ago. Cool. They got back in production.
Yes. On the touring again.
Good. I like that that Badger Stump knows his shoegaze and this Mortal Coil. Awesome, dude.
I mean, if there's anyone I should add, you should just, you know, put it in. Any songs I should add, you should just put them on, and then I can do it after. But the term shoegaze came about because an NME journalist went to see the band Moose, and you know, Russell Yates, he's the singer and guitarist of Moose, and he spent most of the time looking down at his feet, trying to stomp between the sound effects that he was creating with his guitar, and that's where the term shoegaze came about. Is from?
Oh, I didn't know it was. I thought it was just general, but it's one guy.
It was meant to be a derogatory term, so a lot of people don't like it in the shoegaze world. That they don't actually agree with it. But shall I just pull out an album? We should talk about it. Should we start?
Yeah, sure. Since you have a pedal, are you a guitarist?
Yeah, I play bass and guitar, but I'm not going to play the parts now. But oh god, I wish I had my guitar because do you know what a whammy bar is on a guitar?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So in shoegaze, a jazz master is iconic. Okay, because as a jazz master has one of those whammy bars, but also, like, you know, a Stratocaster would have one as well, but they're Fender guitars basically. But what's special is you would hold it and you would strum at the same time, so you would create that little wobbly sound. You know, we call it a tremolo effect, but it's not really. It's not quite a tremolo effect. But yeah, it was. You know, this album is probably considered one of the quintessential shoegaze albums, I would say. Yeah,
My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah,
I think another one would be Lush.
Yes,
I feel like Lush is probably in the Mount Rushmore of shoegaze.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look at the names of some of the albums, but yeah, Lush is a fantastic one. Measy Star ended up influencing Dream Pop mainly. They played shoegaze without as much of the effect, so there's like an acoustic version with the melancholic vocals on top.
And those of us in the goth post-punk scene also claim the Cocktail Twins. Good,
yeah,
Valerie, I love it.
Yeah, but it's not really music you listen to. It's music you experience, I suppose. It's something that you have to listen to really loud.
Yeah, I agree.
It's been designed so that you to give you a natural high.
Yeah, I can't read to it. It's not something you can.
You're not going to understand half the lyrics.
Well, yeah.
Another My Bloody Valentine album, they released 30 years afterwards. Yeah, 30 years afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this came out maybe 2013, 2014. That one is absolutely excellent, actually.
Actually, I got a couple of My Bloody Valentine. I think they're bootlegs. Let me look.
Okay.
Let me look for them.
So, for example, Kevin Shields was influenced massively by Sonic Youth's guitarist
Oh,
Thurston Moore.
Thurston Moore.
Yeah, and his playing
Well,
style.
that
And
is a crazy way of playing. They completely
yeah,
trained with Glenn Branca and
yeah. They
tuned
formed a
their guitars to completely different non-normal standards and
yeah.
stuff.
So he would often detune his guitars to
Yeah.
very low tunings, well below C even. I mean Kevin Shields, I think on the Loveless album alone had like maybe 12, 15 different guitars tuned when he was going live touring.
Oh wow.
But eventually moved on to using a capo on his guitars. So he would dub tune it extensively, and then he would move the capo along the guitar to play those.
Yarny, I have
Tunes.
2 albums from Deary, and I had to get them from the UK because they would sell out here too fast. I had to order them from Rough Trade, UK.
Yeah.
But Deary's really good. That's a good suggestion.
So
Badger Stump seems to know what they're talking about. A couple tracks from Luke.
So one of the songs that is considered the first shoegaze songs. It's not really, it's a bit, but it's "You Made Me Realize" by My Bloody Valentine.
My Bloody Valentine. Okay.
Yeah, you made me realize that was considered maybe the first, like, proper first shoegaze song. You could argue it. I'm not going to be strict about it.
Keep
but it's
talking about it, and I'm going to go look for the bootlegs that I have.
He had
seriously,
bought,
I don't.
So in '88 he had bought a Jazzmaster. He had bought a Jazzmaster in Ireland, and as he said, he had just cranked it in his amp. And he made "You Made Me Realize" on that Jazzmaster guitar, basically. So the guitar really influenced the first shoegaze song he made. He just cranked, so he cranked the amps incredibly high to give himself, like, if you break a certain decibel level and you experience it for long enough, your brainwave changes. So your brainwave changes about 7 hertz, and it basically gives you like a relaxed state, sort of like a natural high. Yeah, and that was what he was trying to create. Now, what he's famous for is using reverb and reverse reverb, or reverse delay. Yeah, reverse reverb and delay pedal. That is iconic to his sound, as the reverse reverb. So if you want to recreate something, distort your guitar and amp with the pedal, and then put the reverse reverb. And he often played the reverb before the distortion, if that matters to anyone. Yeah, if you want to recreate that sound. I mean, the Loveless album alone took 3 years, 19 different studios, and 45 engineers until it was finished, and it nearly bankrupted Creation Records. And there are bills at the time showing just how much weed the band went through to create that album, and it's quite astonishing. I mean, the Loveless album look has been influenced by it. I mean, you could say that Siamese Dream is definitely influenced by it, by the Smashing Pumpkins. Early Radiohead is definitely influenced by it. I mean, there's not much more I can say, really. It's just an incredible album. Yeah. I mean, the problem is, Jess, I don't really have much of the records. Let me go to another band that I really love, actually, that everybody should listen to in shoegaze. Chapter House. Yes, you have to listen to Chapter House. Yeah, just wonderful. I don't know if anybody cares about coloured vinyl, so I'm going to show it off anyway. There you go. Splattered effect. There you go. Chapter House. The song Pearl became an absolute smashing hit. Whilst, gosh, I'm trying to think now. Falling Down was another one. That was a big hit for them. Yeah,
Okay,
have you picked up some albums, Jess?
I think I know exactly where they are now because
Yeah.
they're not in the shoegaze section. I think I just played them recently, so they're in the recently played spot. So
they should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Slow Dive are my favorite. I mean, they named themselves after a Sushi and the Banshees song. I think one of my favorite songs is probably Celia's Dream. And I highly recommend you listen to their self-titled album that came out in 2017. I mean, Star Roving or Sugar for the Pill, or I mean, people say that Souvlaki is probably their favorite album, but I think for me that the start for Just for a Day with Spanish Air, Celia's Dream, Catch the Breeze is probably, I don't know, it's just heaven. You just crank it up and you just sit back and listen to that, and it's just yeah. For me, Just for a Day is probably the best album. By them.
Cycle wants you to talk about Pedal Dog. Pedal Dog.
What this one? Yeah, this is
sure.
An Earthquaker Devices Hummingbird. This is the V2. It's got 3 modes, so it basically creates a sine wave, a square wave, and a saw wave to the sound of a guitar. So it cuts out the sound more and more, basically. Yeah. Shall I just pull out all the pedals? I don't know if I can pull out all the I don't know if I can pull out all the pedals. I've got too many, Jess. It's a disease.
I love it. Saw Sonic Youth at least 10 times. Wow. Watching Lee and Thurston bending the strings with screwdrivers behind the strings. Perfect.
Yeah.
Blur would be nice on this list. Now,
early Blur, you could argue some of the earlier albums they did, you could argue there's definitely shoegaze influence there. 100% there's shoegaze influence there, but they completely changed to a more of a Britpop sound to popularize themselves, basically. You know, David Albarn had to pay the bills.
Neil Young and Crazy Horse are definitely not shoegaze, but you could argue they were the progenitors to grunge. They are the filthiest, hardest. I love Neil Young's probably my favorite artist, and especially with Crazy Horse. And I'm so jealous of Cycle that he got to stand so close last summer that he was looking at the playlist. He was like,
"Oh my god!" He had his sweat on his face.
I mean, he was seeing the hair on Neil's knees through the holes in his jeans. The pictures he sent me, he was right up front, pushed against the front in the mosh pit.
I mean, Jason Pierce is an incredibly influential person in Spaceman 3, and went on to form Spiritualized.
Yeah, Spiritualized.
Galaxy 500 is another one.
Mm-hmm.
Band. I mean, the influence of Joy Division and Sushi and the Banshees is clearly obvious. You know, even the Birds have influenced a lot of the bands as well. You know, even as early as that. Yeah. That's the version of the album that you should get, by the way, is the newer pressing that's just been released there, because it's they actually went and redid the tape. That's the album where the song gosh, You Made Me Realize is on. Is it? I'm sure it is.
No. This
Oh,
album?
Not that one. Okay. It was before then. I mean, Arcane are another one. The London group.
Oh yeah, Arcane. They're great.
Yeah, because they ended up. They actually termed the phrase dream pop. Yeah, you've got that. Fantastic. Yeah, they coined the phrase dream pop, and they've heavily influenced trip hop. So you've got Massive Attack coming out of that, which is just incredible. Air is another great example.
Gosh darn it, the bootlegs aren't here. They're. I'll go. There's another part I can go look at, but I was just listening to Slow Dive.
Slow Dive, yeah, that's the album I want everyone to listen to, because I think that's as good as any album they've made, and that is amazing. It's a self-titled one, yeah.
And I was listening to
Sugar Pill is the one I really like.
Brian Jonestown's Massacre.
Yes, yeah. On the other side of the pond, being influenced.
Right.
Yeah.
And the newest album from Jesus and Mary Chain, which crushes. I love this album.
Oh, I haven't listened to that one. I'm thinking of Psycho Candy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah, and Psycho. What's funny is with Jesus and Mary Chain, they actually completely one of their hits is Honey. Is it Honey? Sweet like honey, or like thick as honey, or something.
Yeah.
And they completely copy the Ronettes at the beginning with the drums. So
here's the Deary LP that Jump Frog.
Oh.
Wait, what's?
Oh, I could get that easier, couldn't I? You should have.
Yeah, you could. I
you
had
should have
trouble.
just told me.
Yeah, Badger Stump was recommending Deary.
I mean, Ride are absolutely one of my
Souvlaki.
favorites.
I heard you talking about Souvlaki.
Yeah, Allison. Great song on that.
I have a box set of the Lush albums. They're all colored vinyl.
Vaporized by Ride are amazing. Is an amazing song.
Let me go look for the.
They've just repressed a lot of the Ride records. If anybody
is
interested in those, you could have. My favorite album is actually Going Blank Again by Ride. Songs like Leave Them All Behind, Twisterella, things like that. Pale Saints. We've not even talked about Pale Saints, Jess. We're missing so many great bands here.
I know. Pale Saints, I just got an album by them that was so great. I think I talked about it with Bump too.
Yeah.
He was familiar with the Pale Saints album.
Yeah.
I got, let's see.
Fine Friend, which is like the Friend Zone song.
Zone song.
Yeah. That is probably my favorite Pale Saints song is Fine Friend. I think it's just beautiful. Throwing Back the Apple. There's some. Swerve Driver.
Yeah.
Is it Mezcal? The album called Mezcal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is just superb from start to finish. Everybody should buy that one now.
Yeah,
that's an album I really love. Is Swerve Driver.
And did you already talk about Curve?
No, I haven't talked about Curve. No.
I do like Curve and Ride.
Yeah, Curve are fantastic.
Let me show you my box set of Lush. I love them. And I had something else I wanted to show you. You'd think I would have been better prepared since this is the theme of the show.
Yeah, well, for Lush, you could have had, the song I remember is For Love, for example. That's a great song. But the gosh, my brain's working on overdrive here. There's so many things.
A Cocteau Twins CD set
Yeah.
that managed to survive. I lost a lot of shoegaze and punk in the flood of 2017, but these are all, I don't know. Let me figure out how to show this is their later stuff. Like when
is
they
Heaven
signed,
or Las Vegas your favorite album from them?
Not my very favorite, but I do like it. A lot of these are
Head Over Heels is a great album as well.
Oh yeah. Let's see if we can see. There we go. Some of them are EPs.
Dials, yeah. Oh, Lullabies, yeah. Some of the EPs are,
Yeah, these are like, it's like an EP box set. But I love this thing. And for my birthday, all I've had for the past 15 years has been a turntable, which is fine, but that means, and I don't drive very much, which is where my CD player is, in the car.
Okay.
So I asked Jake and his audio partner, Brave and the Boys partner, Jordan, for a CD player recommendation.
And you bought a Marantz.
I don't think I did. I got it for my birthday. I got a CD player. Yeah, 2 thumbs up.
Agrees.
Because I have a ton of CDs and a lot of shoegaze on CD. So now I can finally listen to my
I actually think it might be better listening to it on CD. I know it's blasphemous, but I think it's a shoegaze album is often created as one huge orchestral sequence. You know, it's not really a section of songs. It's sort of them. Everything's amalgamated into one, from one song to the next, and they're supposed to flow in between each other into highs and lows and melancholic and make you feel all sorts of emotions. It's a music that gives you an emotional response without the words. Even though there are words, the words are often ethereal. The vocals are ethereal in nature, and they're often inaudible, so you can't actually.
Right. Yeah,
I never know what they're saying. Yeah.
Never understood one thing Liz Fraser was ever singing about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Maybe just a word at the beginning or something.
Yeah, like I think "In Our Angelhood" is the one song where I picked out, "In Our Angelhood," and then it was like, or whatever. I didn't understand any of the words. But
the Verve, the early Verve album, I think the first one they made is that's an incredible album. A Storm in Heaven. That is an incredible album. Yeah, Slide Away, it's a great song. She's a Superstar is one of my favorites, actually, by them. Oh, okay.
Belgian Ellen's Husband Likes My Sleeping Karma.
Yeah.
I saw a Slow Dive last year and they canceled the first date the day of. On this rescheduled date, the atmosphere was a little off because they didn't acknowledge anything until Neil said something 40 minutes in. Weird how things like that can affect the crowd. Yeah. This is about Neil Young, a religious experience.
Yeah. I mean, the documentaries he's made on his recent records have been fantastic.
Just like, that's the
just
Jesus
like
chain.
Yeah.
Made me realize is the one with the blue album cover. Okay, I showed that.
Yeah.
And this is for Mallory. This is the early singles. This is not shoegaze. This is Ex Multiration. This is completely not shoegaze, but a little more on the punky side. These guys are from Germany, and I saw them in concert in 1986 in Los Angeles, and she hipped me to a big a double album, triple album, I think, that I just ordered. So these guys are definitely more punk. but I just wanted to show it because Mallory was in there. And here's the Lush box set.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, whoop, I was holding it the wrong way. There it is. Lush. And I originally had all these as...
Yeah, I like Spooky, the album Spooky.
Yeah.
There's another one called Galaya or something. Or
Gala. Yeah.
Gala, yeah. That
And
one's really great.
Originally, they didn't come out on LP. They came out in the United States on compact disc EPs. So I had a bunch of really skinny little compact discs with 3 songs on them.
Yeah, and how do you feel about the sound of some of those CDs in the 90s? Because they sort of, like, the mastering on them has been questionable at times, where they're just sort of blasting everything and everything's just compressed completely.
Oh, really?
Down. Yeah, a lot of them, yeah.
I think
later on you go, yeah. So about 95 onwards, they just get a bit
this
terrible.
is the colored vinyl, or lack of color. I don't, to be honest with you, this thing goes into about 6 different sleeves here for one album. I don't know that I have enough of an audiophile or musician's ear to notice something like that. I also definitely do not have an ear where I would appreciate. I mean, I'm sure my setup versus something that costs $100,000 in a proper acoustic space, yeah, I bet I could tell the difference. But my little setup, if I turn it up loud, it sounds perfectly fine to me. So I don't know that I could. If I save those Lush CDs, I'll have to look and compare them to the vinyl to see what they sound like. Because I mean, have early
one of my absolute favorite bands.
Oh yeah,
Mogwai. This is as love continues. So,
do you consider Mogwai post-punk, post-rock, or shoegaze, or what do you consider them?
They can be both.
Because I have them in my post-rock section.
Okay, I would still consider them to be more shoegazy. I mean, they came towards the end of the popularity of shoegaze, and they've just stayed making the same songs. This album is definitely shoegaze. I mean, you've got songs like Ceiling Granny, Here We Go Forever. It's just I've got to show this because it's just I love this album. Came out and it's just it's not that old actually. I mean, Cool Vereen is another song that I really love from them. They've made soundtracks and stuff.
Yeah,
I think this was on Red. I think. Let me see. This box set is not expensive in terms of box sets. There we go. It's a clear red. There you go.
And who's this? What are we looking at?
This is Mogwai.
Mogwai, right.
Yeah, Mogwai.
Oh, yeah. I have a whole separate section for Stereolab, Badger Stump.
Ah, okay. I mean, I wonder if people listen to FLAC files now more. I know you can get stems. Do you know what stems are?
It took me a couple seconds to realize what you were saying with FLAC file. So
a FLAC file is like a high fidelity digital copy, the highest fidelity that you can get currently.
Right.
A stem is you basically get the actual mix of the album onto a software like Pro Tools or Ableton, and you can go through each individual recorded part of the song, basically. So like how the drums were recorded, all the mics listed, everything. So you can, with stems, you can try and recreate mixes yourselves. So you can record your guitars, and then you can try and get the exact sound correct for that guitar. Yeah, I'd probably show this off to people. I don't know if this is still in print. I know you can probably get it from their own website. It'll probably ship. They're from Glasgow, so they're on their own label. There's a great band that's signed to their label, which is called BDRM, and they're fantastic as well. They're a shoegazy band.
What Mogwai is that called?
As the Love Continues, just to make sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
I definitely have that in my post-punk section. Let me see if I can go to my shoegaze section to find those damn bootlegs, because I got some Smiths live bootlegs from this site in London, so I know that there's no way these things are official.
Yeah, these are the extras basically. So the songs that didn't quite make it on the album.
All right.
And demos, and then you get the little booklet. Yeah, this album is just, I don't know. It's hard to explain shoegaze because it's not really they're not songs you sing to, are they?
No.
You just sort of sit back, relax, close your eyes, and you just go away into this like different world almost when you're listening to these albums. You just sort of they consume you. I think the genre consumes you.
Have you listened to an American band called Dive? DIIV?
Yes, I have. Yeah,
I love their.
Is it spelt more like
DIIV? Yeah.
Yeah. I have. Yeah.
And I used to call him Div until I read something that said Dive.
Still spelt like Div though.
Yeah. Ooh, Stargazer Lilies.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, that is a. Who said that? Is that something you found? Is it?
That was me in the background.
Okay. I thought it was somebody in the chat. Okay.
Yeah, I love Stargazer Lilies. They're right here. I love these two albums.
Oh, Mogwai, they might be up there with Slowdive for me, actually. They might be surpassed Slowdive just because of the amount of stuff they've produced and they've stuck with it for 30 years. Yeah.
The Stargazer Lilies albums. I agree. I have a ton of Mogwai, and I really dig them. Like a lot.
Let me see.
Garlands is the best Twins LP for me. I have all of their early vinyl, but also that CD box set. Badger Stump. I am happy to have a shoegaze fan on this channel.
Yeah, why aren't you in the stream? Come on, we have to send you a link. This is a fantastic one. A record store, the release from them is the 000 soundtrack.
That's from Mogwai?
Mogwai.
Yeah.
And this is really powerful because it's a lot deeper and richer. I think Trainspotting at its most worst moments, the film, you know, where they're completely taken over by the drug or whatever.
Yeah.
This is about that basically, and you can imagine Mogwai making music for those moments and those sort of scenes, and it's just
I listened.
It's
yesterday.
cavernous. It's cavernous, you know. It's like hollow. It's sort of like it makes you feel hollow because of the music's the same. It's sort of like you end up feeling the emotion of the person within that scene of that piece of music. The piece of music can give you that person's emotion that they're in the scene. They don't even have to say anything in the scene. The music conveys it completely. Yeah, it's just an amazing.
Earlier this week, I was just listening to Mogwai's soundtrack to Kin.
Yes, yeah. Another fantastic one. Yeah.
Mallory. Yeah, the X-Mall record is their early singles that includes Incubus, Succubus, which was their big kind of European hit.
Shanspheric. Have you heard of them?
Shamspheric?
Yeah. Somnium. Fantastic album.
Okay, wait a second. A group I haven't heard of.
Oh, yeah. Shanspheric. So SIAN.
What?
SIAN, yeah. Sian-spheric.
SIAN. That looks
And
like
then,
cyan
like
to the American.
ferric, like ferric chloride. Afterwards, yeah. PHERIC.
How are you pronouncing that?
Sian-spheric.
Shamspheric.
Shan. An
Shan.
N instead of an M. Yeah, an N. Yeah.
Shanspheric.
Somnium, yeah.
Shanspheric or Shanpheric?
Shans with an S.
Spheric.
Yeah, Shanspheric, yeah.
Oh, wow. What's the Somnia?
Somnium.
Okay, spell that.
Do you want me to just put this one song down? You'll end up finding them. Watch Me Fail. That's the name of the song from them.
Just tell me the album title.
Okay, Somnium. SOMNIUM.
Oh, okay. I would have missed that. You.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That'll be my homework for after this.
I mean, do you know what band we haven't talked about? Catherine Wheel.
Oh,
what band they are! They are
those
absolutely
first two
superb.
albums are on constant play.
Yeah, Chrome or Ferment.
And Ferment.
Black Metallic. Oh, I love the song Black Metallic Ferment.
I love for
yeah.
Let me. All right, just this. Now we're talking.
Does anybody know if those albums have been repressed? So I can get
Chrome and Ferment are just two of the bangingest albums.
Yeah, they are excellent. Yeah, they are absolutely
I love
superb.
Strange Fruit from Chrome. And I mean, I love everything, but then I Want to Touch You from Ferment. Those are my two favorite songs from those two albums. God, what year were those released? Was that like 94?
93 and 92.
93 and 92.
Yeah, so it would have been Ferment first, wouldn't it?
So good. Oh my gosh.
I mean, a more modern band, shoegaze band for me is Nothing. The band Nothing. Yeah, it's called the Guilty of Everything is called the album. Guilty of Everything. Nothing is the name of the band. And Guilty of Everything. They are must listen. That album is superb. Absolutely excellent. Yeah.
Have you heard of Ringo Death Star?
Yes, I have, yeah.
They're really good.
What's funny is like shoegaze came back with a bit of a resurgence at the turn of the 2010s, just after the 2010s up to 2020. And it's quite funny, really. It's like a cycle, isn't it? Like the 20-30 year cycle, that these
I'm extremely happy with it.
We're going to get Bewitched back soon. To all our dismay.
Oh yeah, the Harold Budd album with with Robin Guthrie. That was good.
I mean, Brian Eno is a name that should be mentioned for influence on a lot of these bands as well. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a huge box set of his. I bought Cocteau Twins Victorialand and played it at 33. Gave it to a friend and he told me it should be played at 45.
No, I think 33 is more shoegazy, actually, if you think about it.
My favorite Mogwai album is still the Les Revenants soundtrack.
Yeah, the problem with Mogwai is I can't own it all because they keep releasing like 2-3 stuff albums every year almost. A band, The Pains of Being Pure at Heart.
Yeah,
have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, those are Belong is the album I know of, but it's incredible. Yeah.
Harvey, I actually owned a Pono player, and that was one of the biggest ripoffs of my life. It was Neil Young crowdfunded, kickstarted this thing, and it was designed to play digital music high end.
Yeah.
And so I think it was a Kickstarter. Somehow I crowdfunded it, but then what killed it almost immediately was the format to download the music on was like based on a DOS format from 1985. Some ridiculous. I mean, it was when at the time you had iTunes out showing you how easy it was to download music,
Yeah.
they chose this ridiculous format that was impossible to navigate.
Yeah.
It may have sounded good, but it just never, it was too hard to navigate, and the thing died, and it could have had all kinds of great potential. And
one thing I do is I definitely, some of the albums I have to have physically, because I know, because I've experienced it myself on the streaming platforms, the digital platforms, that an album will just disappear. Like even a very, very popular album will just disappear overnight, and they won't have the rights to it anymore, and you can't experience it or listen to it and stuff. And I think you have, being able to have not like a digital copy that you can save onto an SSD card or something is as important as just having the physical copy for me. Especially with Welsh music, it's not accessible, so it's you have to know your stuff, and having a physical copy, because you're not going to find it secondhand. It's really difficult to find it secondhand. Even where I live, it's difficult to find some of the, because they would have pressed maybe 300.
Well, I feel like that's what Deary did. They pressed 300 locally and didn't send any over to the States, but I'm lucky I got them.
And another great band is Blonde Redhead.
Yeah. Pity Moss is listening to the playlist. Thank you for expanding my music genre. Now I have something new to listen to when reading and working. Okay, there you go.
I highly recommend people to tell me, look, you haven't added this band, and you haven't added this song, and you haven't done this, because I don't know everything. Nobody knows everything. Like, there's a lot of bands that I'm not used to. I didn't grow up in the scene, surrounded. I didn't grow up in Leeds or Reading in in the 80s.
Yeah,
I was walking around. But it's so if I'm sure there's some people from Greece or Reading who were there.
Dry Fantasy.
Yes,
I was definitely using a movie.
That's in that album. That's in the album I showed, actually.
Didn't Mogwai do a soundtrack to a documentary of Zinedine
Zidane? Yeah.
What is that?
He's a French Algerian football player who played for Real Madrid, and he won the World Cup for France, and he was famous for headbutting Makuso, I think, in the chest in the World Cup final, and got red carded and sent off and lost.
Right. I do. That is one thing I remember from
He then went on to manage Real Madrid and win quite a lot of trophies. In his tenure, 2 tenures there,
didn't you ask why my daughter rooted for Liverpool?
Was that me?
I think so.
Yeah, I better send a Wrexham shirt or something. This is not okay.
I think it.
She should be a Nottingham Forest fan. That's what she should. They still play in red. There you go.
I can't remember what she told me, because I think that was from last week. Because I asked her. My friend from Wales is asking why you rooted for Liverpool, and now I can't remember what her answer was. I don't think it had.
It's because she loves Ian Rush, right?
If he's handsome, probably. I think she decided that
beauty is in the eye of beholder. I can't speak on her behalf.
Okay. Godspeed You Black Emperor. Yeah. They're post-rock, but awesome.
Yeah.
Where have you been all my life? You should always be on my streams. This is great. I love your kittens. If those are yours, even if they're not yours, I love your profile pic, and I love your musical taste.
Now you have black new shoegaze, or black new gaze, or something. What's it called? It's like death metal mixed with shoegaze.
I have heard that.
Yeah, so bands like Death Haven are a really great one. If maybe you're into the more heavy side of things, maybe that will lean more towards you. Then that you can work your way backwards.
Yeah, I wonder if Slift is considered that. Do you know that group?
Slift. I No,
Because
I
it's
don't.
real.
I don't. I am not sure if Slift. Gosh, you could say they're shoegaze. I don't know who Slift are. I think I told you about them.
Oh, you told me about them?
Yeah,
No,
the French
they're,
group Slift. Yeah,
they're
they're
very
amazing.
shoegazy guitar, but then
Yeah,
it's
but
that death
it's
metal
very
growl.
psychedelic though, isn't it? It's very psychedelic.
Except for the
Very inspired by the 70s. You know, there's a very Stooges sound to them. In some
to the
aspects, and
guitars, yeah. But then the vocalist is a
is
completely death metal.
yeah, yeah,
And I was
yeah.
like,
I know.
oh,
Yeah, I'm not sure if they could be. Well, I don't think the problem with genres is it's impossible to define someone really.
yeah, that's true.
It's silly. You can't really define somebody a band as what being one thing. M83 is another one, but he's added like the techno side to things.
Oh, okay.
So he's added like drum machines, arpeggiators to a shoegazy sound. A Dead Cities, Red Seas, and Lost Ghosts is an album by M83 that's well worth a listen. Yeah.
Oh, Pitima, this is all new to me. I'm in another world. That sounds like you've captured her attention.
We've opened the door. There we go.
Nice.
The floodgates. There we go.
When did you say like ferric chloride? Cut to Jess looking even more confused. I must have been off camera for that. Ferric chloride. When did you say that? I don't know what ferric chloride is.
Let's move on. Let's move on quickly.
Seems
they
to
do.
have
Okay. I'll have a look.
I have a couple of Catherine Wheel albums that I got on I want to say Free Comic Book Day, on Record Store Day.
Yes, yeah.
That I like. There's a period, I think, like Wishville. There's like one song off of it, Gasoline, that I like, but after we move off from Ferment and Chrome, I mean, I listen to those two all the time, but I did like whatever I have from them for Record Store Day.
Yeah. Starflyer 59. Either of them.
Oh, their albums are very out of print.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I can only listen to them digitally.
Yeah, but it's well worth listening to that band, actually. Yeah,
Starflyer 59 should be added to that. Are they on the playlist?
I think so. They could not be. Somebody tell me. Pity man, I know you're listening to it.
Let's see. M83 Beach House. That's a current one.
So Souvlaki, by Slow Dive, was a much dreamier sound, wasn't it? It was a much dreamier sound for that band. It wasn't as heavily distorted. It was a bit more jingly jangly, 12-string guitars and such. And they influenced that started dream pop as well, with A.R. Kane and Maisie Starr, with especially in terms of the lyrics. And I mean, the Maisie Starr lyrics of their songs are, they can break your heart and put it back together again, if they want to. So, Cherry, what's it called? Depression Cherry, I think, is a song by them. But this one is quite a recent one. This is Once Twice Melody. So this is dream pop now, but it's influenced by shoegaze, so it's a genre. Cigarettes After Sex is another one.
Right. Okay.
I've told you about, but
yeah, you did. I do have an album by them. Maybe that's where those.
This is
My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah, this is a superb record. I mean, Runaway is gorgeous. Sunset is gorgeous. It's just like it's one of those albums where I remember putting it on and for the first time, and I just didn't put it off. It just sort of like I just stopped in my tracks and I just couldn't do anything else. I had to just stop and listen to the entire thing. The liner notes and stuff are in here.
Oh
and the
boy, this
booklet, a little snippet about all the different songs and a little story about them and the lyrics, and it's really, really lovely collection, that one. This one comes with a very colourful record, I think. I'm going to have to take that over a bit. There we go. Right. So you get these very shiny covers,
cool.
which are different from the normal album. I think the normal album was black or white.
And it's a box set you have?
Yeah, it's a box set, yeah. Actually, for a box set, it was pretty cheap. For a box set, I mean, I think it was like 35, 40 pounds, which is cheap for a vinyl box set, especially the price of vinyl these days. But you get this incredible gold
it's like
record.
The price of one piece of vinyl itself.
Yeah. The red light coming through there, yeah. I don't buy box sets often. Only when I really love something. I have to really love something to buy a box set. So if I have a box set of an album, it's probably worth listening to. But it's just, it's just beautiful album, actually.
I love my Tidal app, but when things leave it, it feels like I'm living in dystopia. Yeah, I tried Tidal, and there just weren't enough things on there that I liked to listen to justify the subscription. I know it sounds great, though.
I remember if this one's also gold. No, this one's clear.
And this is Dream Pop stuff?
Dream Pop, yeah. If you like Dream Pop. It's basically, it's still got the ethereal vocals, but the sound is more chorus and vibrato sounds from the pedals. It's a much cleaner sound from the guitars. It's not the distortion sound you're used to. It's a much cleaner sound, but it's still got that wave of sound thing where it's thick, really. It's just.
I'm gonna have to give us a 10-minute warning because I have stuff that I have to do, like go take a nap because I'm exhausted. But
I do that. I do that to people, Jess. It's okay.
No, it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with my 5 hours on the air yesterday, and I've been on for almost 5 hours
and then
now.
You get a full poster with it. You get 2 full posters with it as well.
Ooh.
But I'm, should I open the whole thing? I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
There you go. That's one of them there.
Oh, nice.
Can you see it at all, or do I need to stand back a bit? Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. That's a little bit of Dream Pop for you.
I said lift and I meant slint. Thank you, Badger Stump. Look at Badger Stump.
Okay.
I'll be here all the time, Badger Stump. I like that. I don't mind being corrected. I said slift. I wonder why. Okay, I'll read this. The Spotify Neil shakeup was so misunderstood. Besides Neil suffering horribly from the effects of polio into his 20s, he was also just always diametrically opposed to streaming services from the very beginning due to his crazy strong feelings on fidelity.
I mean, there's a really famous one of Neil Young walking into a record shop. Have you seen where he's being interviewed in a record shop and he finds his bootlegs being sold?
Of his stuff?
Yeah, he just walks into a record shop while he's talking and being interviewed. It's on YouTube, I think, and he finds his bootlegs. All of his albums are bootlegs in this whole shop.
What was his reaction?
He walks up to the counter and just goes off on them.
Oh, and starts yelling at him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Cigarettes After Sex.
That's the album I have.
I mean, I advise you don't smoke cigarettes at any point, but yeah. But that's Silver Sable is probably my favorite song on that one. Superb. That's a Dream Pop record again.
Okay.
And then another band I want to talk about, but people might disagree with me, but I think they are shoegaze because it has to be shoegaze if you use a violin bow to play the bloody guitar.
Oh.
It just has to be shoegaze.
Sure.
That is, this is the Icelandic band Sigur Rós,
Oh, yeah.
who are they're just incredible.
I
mean,
love listening to them, but I don't know that I would enjoy them in concert. I see that's
if you're able to watch them with an orchestra, it's well worth it.
Oh, that might be true.
Yeah,
I do love their sound, though. I love
my favorite album is Tack. Probably is my favorite album from them is Tack, probably, or Egas Bruin, or some. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but yeah, that's an incredible album. But that's best to be had on CD because it is like 4 hours long or something. And yeah, the songs are all like half an hour each or something. Yeah, it's just gorgeous. Yeah, I can't believe we haven't even scratched the surface.
Delaware by the Drop 19s just got reissued, and it had the original had a young girl, like, I don't know, an 11-year-old, and she's got a pistol hanging. She's got her arm hanging down and a pistol's in it. And for the reissue, they took the pistol out and had her holding flowers.
Yeah.
So that was a controversial cover, but I like the Drop 19s.
I mean, the bass player, Andy Bell from Ride, ended up joining Oasis, didn't he? In 1999. He ended up in Oasis in 1999.
Love Lies Crushing. They're great.
Yeah.
Okay. I keep going and not finding things, but I think I have the Andy Bell stuff right where I could find it because he put out a release where everything got smaller and smaller. Like it was, and he put out albums, then a CD, then a single, and they were all part of the. Let me see if I can find it.
Cycle, the Untitled album is a masterpiece. I mean, it is really, really fantastic. Really, really. Do you have that one, Jess?
Which one?
Untitled by Sigur Rós.
I'm putting my hands on something for the first time, so.
Well, Badger Stump has seen Sigur Rós live, and he says they're excellent. So very, very good. I mean, that's high praise.
I actually found something that I wanted to, and this is by Andy Bell. Because this is some really good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, whoop, that's Drock. Okay, Andy. Okay, wait. Here we go. I got him out of. So here's the full album.
Yes. Yeah.
And then he follows it up. It's called Ever Decreasing Circles. This is an EP.
That's I've listened to that one. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot it had Pie Corner Audio on it. I love Pie Corner Audio. And then here's the 10-inch.
Nice.
Then here's the 45, the 7-inch.
Hondo is going to see Mogwai in April.
Oh, Hondo's here? And then here's the CD. And they're all different songs. It's really cool. Oh, I'm keeping this out. Actually, well, they're remixes of a lot of stuff.
Okay.
I'm going to keep this out so I can listen to it. Ooh, I can finally listen to this CD because I have a CD player now.
Yes.
Yay. Where's Hondo? Let's see. Whoop. That's right, Hondo.
Jewish Dragons can't believe we're still on.
Oh, you lost the playlist? I have to go through history, but there are some hidden videos.
There's some hidden. Which ones are hidden, Pitima?
It does say, I noticed it said there were some hidden videos.
Ah, that's weird. Okay.
James, I don't. This is birthday weekend, so my daughter's coming over tomorrow. I apologize. There won't be a live Essential Collected Editions, but Webhead and I will do a recorded one, but we won't be able to do a live. But thank you for asking. But not enough pedals. Well, I'm glad people are digging this.
Yeah, I could pull more pedals, but I've got to pull out some cables. I don't know.
Oh well, don't wreck your setup.
Oh no, it doesn't matter. I know where everything goes. They're labeled.
Oh.
Oh.
Let's see. No, I'm sorry. Peace and love. Peace and love. I am exhausted. I have to go up for a cup of coffee and then a nap or something. I don't know. Cliff, I do love when products come with excellent packaging and extras. Yes. Pitima, you can go up. The playlist was up at the very beginning, and I'm going to put it after this video. I'm going to make a bit.ly link for it and stick it in the description.
If you make me a mod, Jess, I can just share it.
Sorry?
If you make me a mod.
Oh, you want to put it in the private chat and I'll share it?
I can put, James has just put it again.
Oh, yeah.
James. Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, we're going to see Mogwai at the Regency. Nice, Hondo.
Very jealous.
Wait, what has he seen? I've seen that. It's awesome. I think he's the Neil Young thing. I think he tells them he's taking the album for free because it's his. Sigur Rós. Sigur Rós is incredible. I love the United album. I've seen Sigur Rós. Very, very good.
Yeah.
Elan is your playlist on Jess's Discord under music. Haven't been in there yet, but we will
yes,
see. Oh,
I put it in. It's in the Bowie's turntables.
It's in Bowie's turntable? Okay, good.
That's a flashback pedal.
Oh, here's somebody that's delay pedals. Max. Not talking about jazz, but we're talking about music.
I can pull some jazz out.
Don't you dare.
Oh.
Okay. So the playlist is in Bowie's turntable in my Discord, so that's good. Here's the guide to shoegaze again.
I'll put a photo in the Discord cycle. I'll put a photo of the pedal board in the Discord so I don't have to detach everything.
Great recommendations, Han Solo Lobs.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you. First time anyone said that to me.
The hidden tracks might be a regional thing.
That could be true, actually. Yeah.
Let's see. I got it too. It said,
if somebody could take a screenshot of which ones, because I know which order they're in,
and then unavailable video is hidden, but it doesn't say what it is. There's just a big X there. 24 videos, one unavailable video is hidden. I think Cycle's right. I think it must be.
Sean in the chat said that M83 were excellent when he went to see them in Manchester. So I think there's a really great KEXP where they're on KEXP and you can watch on YouTube of M83 because they're like a mixture of playing and synthesis and stuff. So it's, I think it's well worth watching that one. Yeah.
Oh, I saw M83 in Manchester a few years ago. Fantastic live, man. Here's a dig at me. I like all genres, unlike some people.
What you don't like?
Jazz.
You don't like jazz?
I don't dislike it. It's just not my thing. I understand why people
is it like the
it.
Old jazz, or is it like what about like the more like hip hop jazz, like the Tribe Called Quest, for example?
That doesn't sound like. No, I don't. I mean, I appreciate them as a musical group, but I don't think I would vibe to their sound.
Okay.
Jazz just has never really appealed to me. There is one jazz album that I love, and I have no idea how jazz musicians feel about it. But Dave Brubeck graduated from my college.
Time Out.
And, Take 5 has always been one of my favorite albums. I mean,
Yeah.
that's from like 1949.
Do you know that album was recorded with one microphone?
Is that Take 5 was?
Yeah.
So
One
it was like,
microphone in the middle. So
wow.
Yeah.
I love that album.
Yeah.
We need at least a photo of the pedal board in Bowie's turntable. Okay.
I can do that one. I mean, my pedal board's too big, but the problem is I put all sorts of instruments through it, you know. I put like I use it to make like sound design and things like that. So I have to have like I'm less than a shoegazer. I'm a knee gazer. I'm on my knees all the time.
Yeah, this makes sense. It is possible the song isn't available in the US. YouTube sometimes blocks videos in different countries.
Mm-hmm.
Great work on comics and music today, Justin and Elan. Thank you both.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you. Yeah.
Always nice to have Matt in the chat, actually.
Yeah, unrelatedly from Next Imagine, something worth actually leaving the vault for. Oh, Princess Mononoke is playing widely in 4K IMAX. I could get my movie buddy to see this.
Oh, it's a Miyazaki film. I mean, come on.
This weekend. Oh, it better be through next weekend because I'm not leaving the house tomorrow because my daughter's coming over. Thank you for that, Next Imagine. I'd actually like to see that.
Yeah. Should I just answer questions in the chat or wait for you to pop them up?
Go ahead and tell me what time.
Yeah. So does Elon have any synth devices?
It's Elan.
I actually use VSTs mostly, so they're virtual instruments in your computer, and I use a MIDI keyboard. But I do have board effects. For example, I have the one that the Elise's Quadriverb, because I'm a Jeff Buckley fan, and he used that on the what's the cover he did? Oh gosh, I've just blanked. Yeah, Jeff Buckley used on. Yeah, I basically. Oh, what's this bloody song? Everybody makes a cover of it every time they win X Factor. Hallelujah! Thank you. So the Taj Mahal setting on the Elise's Quadriverb. It's fantastic for making the Jim Morrison voice sound as well, you know, like the vocals. There's a dearest friend. that sort of sound, you know, like if you want to create that sound.
Oh, I did like the atonal jazz thing you sent me, Max. Yeah, that's right. I did.
Yes, he did do many covers, especially of Live in Chennai is probably my favorite thing out of Jeff Buckley, is Live at Chennai.
Reaper's here, but I don't understand the reference. Do you break out? I love the picture of Haas. Do you break out the little blue pill night of your birthday? What's the little blue pill?
Viagra. He means Viagra.
Omnidog doesn't need that, man.
No.
I like other pills, but I don't need that pill.
Yes, that's the one I have, Max. Yep. Yarn, I have not listened to Always. I really need to, though, don't I?
Oh yeah, that's a familiar name to me.
Yeah.
Given I like Husker Du, what?
Yeah, everybody loves Husker Du.
What? I was looking for a recommendation before that, but all I see is this comment. What are we talking about there, Badge?
It probably is Husker Du. It must be.
Oh, William Lee, but it's good to have you here anyway. Okay, well, I am going to have Elan. This has been great. We've been talking for 3 hours, and we've had a blast. It's
been lovely, and I have to do it again next Saturday.
Okay, good. And we should get Omnibo and Cliff on Comics next Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Oh, they can do all the talking. I can have a rest, and I haven't even taken a sip out of
Yeah, so we'll have another chance to talk to Elan next week. But I really want to compliment you on your insightful commentary on Green Lantern, Green Arrow, what's called hard fighting heroes or whatever it is, hard traveling heroes. It was just it was good to hear your perspective. Really good. It was very insightful.
It was the first time I read it, and we're of a different generation, so it's sort of like I have to read it back. It's a little bit different. So our takes maybe could be different. Yeah.
No, but I thought yours were really very thoughtful and insightful. So I appreciated it, and I appreciate, of course, any talk about shoegaze. You're my man, so I dig that.
Well, I don't know. I think Badger Stump should turn up on the show someday.
You think who?
Badger Stump.
Badger Stump?
Yeah, he should definitely turn up on the
show. This is what you were talking about.
Yeah, he has to join the Discord so he can put all the recommendations he mentioned in the chat.
I did a link to Rodan that is on a YouTube track called Darjeeling. Okay, that's what you were talking about, Badger Stump. Yeah, join our Discord so we can get some musical talk going. We do have a lot of stuff posted almost every day in Bowie's Turntable.
Everybody's saying such nice things. Thank you, Psycho. Thank you, Mallory.
Yeah. Amazing, this whole stream. He better not start his own channel, or he could easily challenge Omnidog's supremacy on the scene.
It's not a rivalry.
It's friendship. We're better together, like chocolate and peanut butter. Elan, you are so smart and well-spoken and passionate. Yes, it's so great to have you on a stream.
Yeah.
Whoop. Sorry. Thank you for an educational, entertaining evening from Belgian Ellen. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bowie's Turntable. We have had everything from, I think that's where Cycle posted his pictures of seeing Neil Young in concert. There's a lot of YouTube videos posted in there. Vinyl hauls, things like that. It's the general music talk channel on my Discord. You can go in there and just say, here's the music I like. What do you think? Or here's the music I like.
Yeah.
I don't care what you think.
Everybody's really nice in there anyway. So that's the attitude we have in there. We're supposed to be.
Right.
We have discussions, but I would never call them heated.
No, that is not allowed.
That's not the vibe. Yeah.
Corgi, where did you get that jacket? I want one.
I'll send you the link, Max. I got it for sale. Yeah, I'll get one. Yeah, they make them in multiple colors. Yeah, it's good.
Good to see you, Munin. I'm glad you're here. Glad you were able to tune in. So this has been great. I appreciate everybody as usual in the chat. You guys were all great today. And I'm sorry I couldn't find those Fakakta My Bloody Valentine bootlegs, but I'll find them for next week so I can show you that I at least have them.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Hope you had. Wasn't sure if they existed always off screen and passing these sweets. Yeah, they do. Yeah. That's the last time I saw upper management was when she came down and brought me coffee and a cookie. Yeah. I know, Munin, and I appreciate that a lot. So I will use Elan has been sitting in for Omnicat, who is still playing with her daughter, which is awesome. She's a beautiful daughter.
Yeah.
And so I will use our theme song to play us out. Elan, great to see you, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah. See you then. Bye, everyone.
Still rock and roll! Omnidog! Hey, Omnicat! Now here's the Omnidog and Omnicat show. It's the place to sit if you'd like to know more about the books that they've read. Kristen likes Lumberjanes and Steven just likes to grow Jimmy Olsen.